Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the show for episode 43 of season 1 of the Weebs of the Ring podcast in 2024? And you know what's tomorrow? Money in the Bank. This is the going home show for in Canada, Toronto. But for tonight's show, we have a headline story of the tag team titles on the line. 8 Town Under defend versus DIY. We'll talk about it because the team that deserved to have won at WrestleMania got their chance and they hit their goal. We had DIY finally make a story. Our Triple H guys went in. The Bloodline story continues. It was a nice promo. We hear back from what happened last week. The Money in the Bank match is billed like the pre-show kickoff. And Pretty Deadly versus Street Profits did happen. I was not paying attention. My apologies. So we're going to get to that. We have another tag match that was built up for the women's tag match of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell and Bayley versus Piper Niven. And that is for our show. And at the very end, we will have our Money in the Bank predictions as well. So today will be a packed show. Let's get to it. But just know, tomorrow will be a post show for Money in the Bank, so stay tuned for the stream link. But in the meantime, let's enjoy for Weebs of the Ring episode 43.
Welcome, one and all. Good evening and salutations. We are, of course, the Weebs of the Ring. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast, and if you are new here, well, let's just quickly introduce ourselves, because with anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we're a trio of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling, so allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling event of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all nerds out there. So, grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience unlike any other. Brought to you, of course, by AniMa Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. And that is right, folks. You have not been isekai'd into a world where you are now an ogre chilling out on a beach. Nope, you are here to talk to us about wrestling. I, of course, am your world champion, Whawkins, giving you the lowdown here with some good old wrestling graps. And of course, as always, I am joined by the devil and the angel on my shoulders, up above me. First of all, on to the right, we have, of course, the legend himself. Go ahead and tell the people who you are.
Man, it's the visionary legendary Vash that will be yeeting all over Money in the Bank tomorrow with having the Yeet Money in the Bank case. And that would be listing you up the title in the briefcase of all the seekers you should be watching, like Jobless Reincarnation, Slime animation season 3 going on right now. So all these little seekers are the GOAT. Even the ones that Whawkins be coming up with, it gets interesting. Like, damn, Ogre in the toilet, what? Ogre somewhere else? Like, okay, we're getting a Goblin Slayer type of anime. Who knows? But without further ado, because you got to understand, go watch episode 148 of the podcast that dropped yesterday, this past week, because it was entertaining. It has a lot of good story. Anime Expo's next week. And by the way, if you're checking this podcast, like it. Comment below what you guys think about this show. And tell what you guys think about SmackDown show itself. Because what else to talk about? Let's drop this, right?
And dropping it, as always, to my left, of course, is DropThisBox. Drop, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing great. We got Money in the Bank tomorrow. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, dude. I am excited. Probably this might be my third favorite pay-per-view of the year. Just behind like Royal Rumble and of course WrestleMania. So I'm excited. My co-hosts are excited. I see you guys are excited in the chat. You guys have been chatting up a storm before we started. Love to see that as always. Just quick reminder, let's keep everything classy as we talk about wrestling. Good thing to have jokes and all that, but let's keep it to a minimum, shall we? But as always, I do want to ask you guys real quick, because it's been since Monday, been a few days. We've even had a holiday. How you guys been? How's your week been? How's life just treating you outside of this wrestling sphere here? Vash, how about you? Let's start with you. How's your week been so far?
My apologies to just give you crickets, but like at the end of the day, to me, it's like, hey, I'm chilling, alive. I'm good to talk. I'm straightforward.
Straightforward as
The
always. What about you, Drop?
the same here, honestly. Nothing different, really. Just a
Nothing
regular
new,
week.
nothing different. All right, all right. Well, it can't be that regular. We have Money in the Bank. We had so many things to lead us into Money in the Bank. We had the go home show tonight from SmackDown, which I thought was a pretty good show. You know, again, a lot of things just kind of leading to tomorrow night, but one main thing, our main headline story of tonight, was all about the WWE Tag Team titles. We had A-Town Down Under facing off against DIY, putting their titles on the line. We had a lot of story build up here with Grayson Waller almost turning on, well, not necessarily turning on Theory, but just kind of being a jerk. Kind of just being a jerk towards Austin Theory, and of course DIY trying to pull him away from that. But yeah, we got a tag team title match out of all this, and new tag team champions now. So how are we feeling about this? Like this whole story that's kind of built up with, you know, Austin Theory like being torn away from Grayson Waller and DIY finally getting the tag team titles. Vash, I want to start with you. How are we feeling about everything like going on? These old tag title picture, this Austin Theory stuff going on. Talk to me. Let me hear from the legend himself.
So the vision I've seen with these tag titles that Triple H goal or the booking that he have had so far with these titles is he wants to give people TV time and see what they could do so far. He gave them to Grayson, he gave them to Austin, even though a lot of people are questioning why did they give it to them at WrestleMania when the DIY team you deserve it, or it was New Catch Republic. So a lot of these options were much better than the ones that we are currently had, like we had with Awesome Truth and A-Town Down Under. But I'm glad that they got us because it builds stories within it. And like we got Austin Theory when I first got back into wrestling back in the beginning of 2023 or around 2022, Austin Theory was not hitting for me. And for many people, they were not hitting how his character was by the old regime and how he was doing, now being booked better, story-wise, character-wise, written-wise. We are seeing a better iteration of Austin Theory to see the actual character that he was meant to be, or a lot of people was hoping or replacing him to become the next John Cena. So I'm glad that he's become his own person in his own way, even though it has some hiccups. So I'm very happy for Austin Theory. Grayson Waller, he has that type of attitude or type of personality. You just want to hate the guy, and in the best way possible on screen. I know that he's probably a nice-ass person in real life and everything. He probably has a good heart and everything. But on screen, he's like a lovable type of douchebag. Like, damn, he a douche. But I like how it builds up so far. With DIY, I'm very excited for them. They have the love for the fans and the audience. As you see that everyone like they show the type of showmanship, and they have a great time. Like they do the little the whole little clap thing. They have great dynamics. They have a whole teamwork, and they rock the outfits. And plus, Tommaso Ciampa, I don't know something about it, but he rocks the white long ass beard that reminds me of the guy from Lord of the Rings.
Okay, that's not a bad shout right there with the beard.
Yeah.
All right.
I just want to give her credit's due. I'm a big beard guy myself, so I give credit.
Oh yeah.
As other person is rocking said look, I gotta give her credit's due.
Oh yeah, no, I get that, because like right now my beard's kind of growing out, and I'm like, man, I need to shave again. I need to kind of trim down a little bit because like it's hot outside, and my face, I don't want it to sweat so much. But I'm also go ahead.
Talking about beard, like you just said, you remind me. Has LA Knight been rocking that beard recently as well? Because I just noticed that about him.
He usually has some stubble on his face.
Yeah, because that threw me off because like your beard kind of reminds me of him, but then like I just noticed that this week was more cut evenly, so I'm like, oh shit, that's different. But yeah, as a whole side tangent about beer, I was just asking that because it just threw me off this week.
Nah, join us for our beard podcast happening every Tuesday at 11. So Make sure to tune in then, everybody. But drop. That means you have to grow a beard, buddy. Sorry.
Mm. Okay.
You got it. You got it. But actually, since we're on you, Drop, how do you feel about everything that happened? Because I know you and I have been kind of talking a little bit about like DIY finally getting these titles and all that, and I know you know a little bit about like the history from NXT because like during the backstage promo we got like DIY were referencing how important Toronto was from them. So, how you feeling about them finally getting the tag team titles from Austin Theory and Grayson Waller?
I'm honestly really happy because I'm happy that we at least have champions that feel like champions, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of feel like the reason why we got the champions we did during WrestleMania was just to split the titles. Because with Miz and Truth's reign, I really wasn't feeling it. With Grayson and Theory's reign, it was like pretty decent, but Johnny and Tommaso have been busting their ass off for a long time, and I really wanted to see them get rewarded for all their hard work because Triple H is really high on these guys. Like when you want to name like a lot of people that Triple H is like really close to, you throw in Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Seth Rollins, for example, Kevin Owens, because those are people that he took under his wing and he helped build up during the Black and Gold era. So this must have been a pretty big moment to him as well because he's looking at where they were all the way back then when they originally came up and then looking at them now, just showing how much progression they've had as a team. And this was when they had that NXT takeover in Toronto when they were going up against they're known as a different name in AEW now. It's not ringing a bell.
Oh, what they used to be known as?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the
WWE? Name. In WWE, they were known as the Revival.
Okay, yep, that's what it is.
Yeah,
they ended up facing them there, so it's nice how everything came full circle there. Especially when they got the special entrance and everything. Like I had a feeling in my heart that they were gonna come out on top of the end and finally win the tag titles. And I'm just looking at how the story is currently going on with Theory and Waller. There's bigger things for them in the horizon, especially with that ongoing story. So them dropping the titles, honestly, didn't really bother me, but I'm just happy to have them as tag team champions because you can only imagine the kind of matches we can get out of this now.
Oh yeah, like their matches. I mean, just off the top of my mind, I mean, we had a match earlier with Street Profits and Pretty Deadly, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But like, I mean, those are two teams that could bring out that DIY could bring out an amazing match from, especially Street Profits. Like, it inject that into my veins. Like, oh my gosh, yes, give it to me. Before we move on, thank you, Vash. I'm assuming that was you that put that Discord link in there. I, unfortunately, JJ Styles, do not have my own Discord server, but if you just go onto that link, I'm sure that's the Anime Lately one.
Correct. That's the Anime Studio one where everything for Anime Podcast, Weebs of the Ring, we have conversation for everything. We'll be slowly improving the server, so definitely check it out. It's only active for currently people that are watching the VOD. It might not be active no more, but for the stream wise, it will be currently active. So since the server is not publicly ready for everyone, it's just used right now for we can share every stream often.
Yep, exactly. So if you guys want to talk to us, that's probably the best place to talk to us there. But yeah, we're going to continue on now with our conversation. Go ahead, Vash. You had something you wanted to say real quick.
I want to give some last thoughts before we transition to the main storyline. I'm happy for DIY. I love their song. Their song is fucking catchy as hell. Still like DIY. And then like just the song, and, like nice tempo. It really does hype it up. However, really curious to see what goes on afterwards for DIY. Like, how will they continue the tag matches and defending, and hopefully they get on a PLA to defend it, where the story gets to be built up. That's one. Two, they are their babyface, so who will be their heel now since they got it? Or would they be transitioning to like a heel tag team? I would love to hear you guys' opinion about that since you guys know them longer than me. And last comment is with Austin Theory and Grayson, where's that going to lead to? And now are they going to slowly turn Austin to heel and have a match for SummerSlam with Theory, or is that going to be a regular type of SmackDown match? So I'm really curious about that. What do you guys think?
I personally feel like it's going to be saved for SummerSlam to have a match between the both of them, because SummerSlam is pretty much like a summer WrestleMania. So you're going to be having like a lot of matches being thrown on that card. Like, I can't remember how many matches we had last year. I think we might have had around maybe 8.
Yeah, 8.
It was a lot.
So I can definitely see this being a match thrown in there, because they're going to take the time from here all the way up until SummerSlam to build up this match between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And obviously Austin Theory is going to be the babyface in all this, because it really wouldn't make sense for Waller to be the babyface considering all the bad things that he did to him. But that's what we're heading for. That's the direction I'm thinking we're heading for them. As for the tag champs, I'm not entirely sure. They might try to do like some sort of like number one contender spot to determine who their next challenger is going to be, unless they have a celebration next week and somebody comes out to confront them or whatever. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, the only thing I really don't want to see, and this is mainly because I'm not really a fan of like their booking and they're just very boring to see on screen, which is Legado del Fantasma. I don't want to see them. I don't. Would it be a good match? Sure, but it's just they don't really have any aura that really makes me care about them. Like, you got to give me reasons to care about these people that come on the screen.
Well, I would say
I could see Legado.
Point
go ahead.
Is the Legado needs to get some type of booking on screen. They just got to show the type of teamwork and dynamic. Right now, they cannot show their mic work because that would take a lot more TV time. And rather than show the wrestling to do some high shots, because I remember the one that was from LW. I remember his reels being on IG and Twitter of him doing those high jumps, like a good 25 feet in the air, because of him, being flown up by 2 other people.
Oh, that's are you talking about from LWO?
Yeah. So like at least that was entertaining. At least it gave them recognition, just being the spotlight for small moments. But now Legado del Fantasma, I agree with what you're saying. But for now, we need them to get pushed in a light where, like, all right, cool, let's get them booked well. If they're not if they can't do good promo, let's get them to at least build some good more tag teams. Because we have asked before, like, when are we gonna get more tag team type of division if we have a belt but it's not being defended? So now that we have a good belt being transitioned, let's see more teams being shown and their dynamics, not just regular people just being thrown in the team. Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler the most one that I've been hearing about Zoe's name all week. I just want to take a break from hearing it.
Just so much discord for her.
I'm zoed out. I'm zoed out.
I felt so bad for the pre-show, but we could get.
But it's like going to what you said. But it's like going to what you said. I agree. They need to have that proper build up to actually have that tag team title opportunity earned. So they have to be put in matches, not just confront them and a match is set up right there, because it's not really believable. I mean, something that I would want to see, for example, if you want to do something with Cedric Alexander and Ashante Adonis, they were teasing that not that long ago. And Cedric Alexander, I've seen him go in the ring many times. He's very talented. And I feel like if they want to use this a way to just build up that tag team so it at least stands out and it gets more recognition, so at least you could look at SmackDown and you could acknowledge that there's a lot of other tag teams out there besides DIY and Legado del Fantasma. You could do something like that. Like, this is your perfect opportunity, because if you want to build like a strong tag team division, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa is your best bet to help you go down that direction, because they're both great talents. A lot of people believe on them. They have, just look back at what they did back in the old black and gold days, at people that are watching this, seeing what they were capable of. They can create magic anytime they want them. So if you want to lead a strong division, those two guys right there is definitely your best bet to doing that. And if Braun Breaker was still on SmackDown, I would have had him in Baron Corbin do it, but obviously they have their own things, and I prefer it the way it is
I would have
now.
loved that.
Wolf Dogs
but I'm fine.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
I miss them.
But I'm fine with where Braun is now. I think it's perfect. Yeah, I wouldn't change it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I was gonna say, and we'll move on from Legato after this, is like I see Legato, at least at this point, being like DIY's maybe first defense. Like they're not gonna have a lot of heat going in. It's DIY is gonna be going over regardless of who that first team is that they fight.
Mhm.
So why not have it be Legado del Fantasma, since they don't really have much heat.
But
So,
still a good match.
yeah, they could win some sort of they could have a good match and all that. They could win some sort of BS number one contenders match or whatever, and bada bing, bada boom, there you go. You know, I could see them as the first title defense for them, but like, and then moving on from like DIY's part of this to Theory and Grayson Waller, I'm hoping they are put on SummerSlam and not some SmackDown leading up to it, because like you could actually kind of sink your teeth into a feud like this. I mean, I know they weren't the best of friends even when they were on screen a lot of the time, but it's like there's still some sort of history there that you can play with, and especially with somebody like Theory, you could tell this story about like how his career's gone since that win against John Cena, because it's just like, yeah, you won the match.
Yeah, it's
But
perfect.
you really didn't go anywhere until like Grayson Waller came around. So like there's a good story there, and I hope when they do tell it and they do have the match, it's on SummerSlam so they can also get that SummerSlam paycheck.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense now that you bring that up, because you could definitely build off of a story like that, because it was just left open. You didn't really use it in any way. So if they really wanted to head down that direction, they could, because that's something I can easily see Grayson taking advantage of within their feud, talking about, well, you were nothing without me. And
So are you
like, yeah, you had the US title and all that, but it's like again, like it's all about the momentum. They love their momentum in WWE. It's like, okay, you didn't have the momentum really when you had the title, so it's like you got the Grayson Waller rub. You got that. You're like the pinnacle. You are like the staple boy of that phrase now.
And this could be the perfect opportunity as well to actually start building up Theory to actually be a credible contender for like a future Royal Rumble, future WrestleMania main eventer, future world champion. Like, this is your opportunity right here to slowly start building to that, because I definitely believe in 5 to 10 years from now he's going to be one of their biggest stars. He has a lot of potential.
Oh yeah, he has all the potential going on. But Vash, you had something to add too, sounded like.
yes, I was gonna ask that. Would you guys prefer for SummerSlam Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller, or a rematch between both of them for the tag titles, DIY versus A10 Down Under, and build up more of the story of Austin Theory to go face for another 3-4 weeks to build up for SummerSlam to get betrayed? I mean, to turn face over Grayson that night.
I'd personally rather them have the singles match, because I feel like from here, because you still have a lot of time until SummerSlam, so you have more than enough time to actually build up to that match. Because the way that I would structure it if I was like booking like Triple H was, is like at the following SmackDown, I would start building up to that match at SummerSlam, and I'll start adding all these different kinds of things there, because one of the things that they needed to do in order to start that feud to begin with was to lose the tag titles. It really wouldn't make sense if they actually went after the tag titles again. Like, the whole story between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller right now is Theory finally understanding that all this time Grayson Waller was just using him. Like, you even saw in the match, like I said in the chat, he accidentally hit him, which I know that wasn't intentional, but it still plays into it. And then of course you have him using Theory as a shield in the match, and obviously things like that is put in there for a reason. They wouldn't just do that just to get like shock value out of people. Like, obviously things are planted into that for a reason, because that just gives Theory a lot of fuel for the fire. So once Theory starts shooting his shots at Grayson, he can call him out on all the bullshit that he's done numerous times. And that's one of the reasons why I'm interested to see where this is going to go, because it can get personal between the both of them. Grayson could be the guy saying that if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be where you are right now. And then this could be Theory's moment to finally prove that he can actually become the better person in the end of this feud. Because I see Theory walking out with a W towards the end of this feud, because this is going to be Theory proving Waller wrong, saying that I can be somebody without you, and this is his opportunity right here, and this is probably what we're going to see at SummerSlam.
Yeah, because like I can see like a series of matches happening between the two. Like I could see Grayson picking up the first win, but you know, like you were saying, at the end of all of this, at the end of the feud, it's got to be Austin Theory out on top to, you know, again, like you were saying, to prove that he can do it without Grayson Waller. And kind of with your thing too, Vash, with the rematch, I could see the rematch happening within this build, because like we didn't get the full like turn here, so I could see them maybe announcing a rematch, honestly, as soon as next week. They could announce it like in the coming week, and then next week you have like the actual turn. Because like we saw in this match, you know, there was a lot of shades of like Bayley when she was like sacrificing herself a lot for damage control during the War Games match, where like it was like a minute and a half she was like breaking up pinfalls and submissions in that match, like keeping the team alive, and eventually being the downfall for it. Kind of the same here with Theory in a way, because like, you know, he stopped like a lot of attacks from happening. They were cheap shotting a lot, and you know, Theory was taking a lot of offense to the point where like he like crawled back into the ring to make sure that Grayson didn't tap out. I mean, it didn't end up working in the long run, but it's like all those sacrifices Theory was making, just it's very similar to Bayley, and we're building up that sympathy for Austin Theory that he'll need when he's a babyface. Yeah. But hey, again, we got new tag team champions. Thankfully, it is DIY. I believe in them. It sounds like the team believes in them. Chat, if you believe in them, let me know down in there. Give me a bunch of DIYs in the chat, because hey, or you know what? Also, give me a bunch of RKOs out of nowhere, because DIY on social media, I don't know if you guys have been seeing these with Ciampa trying to hit Randy Orton with an RKO out of nowhere.
I am loving that. I love how they're just throwing real life into them. I saw the one where he tried to jump and hit himself on the table. It was like, yeah, sure, that works, but it's believable and it's just fun to watch.
My favorite one is this recent one. Go watch it too, because there's two versions. There's the normal camera version, and then there's one that would like there was a camera on Ciampa when he went to go do it.
Oh,
because he was like in disguise and all that.
I did not see that one.
Yeah, I highly recommend. Highly recommend.
Well, dude, so Chad, you heard. Go watch it and let us know if you saw it.
Yes. Yes, give me all those WERs and DIYs in the chat. Love to see it. Love to hear it. Love it, love it, love it. But you know what I'm not loving? I am not loving this bloodline. I am not loving them one iota. It was one thing when Roman was in charge, when it was just like, you know what, Roman, I'm liking what you're doing. You're kind of a dick, but you know what? I can respect that. I can respect that a lot. Can't respect this new bloodline. And we got our final build-up for the six-man tag match of RKO and Cody Rhodes taking on the Bloodline here in our main storyline here going on for Money in the Bank. Guys, we had a little bit of a twist with this at the end. I was worried that this wasn't going to get a lot of build for tomorrow, but they saved it right there at the end, at least for me. But how do we guys think? Drop, I actually want to start with you with this one. How do you think, first of all, I guess, of the faces turn tonight? Because they, at least one of them had a lot to say about this week.
Yeah, like definitely when it comes to Kevin Owens, I'll bring that up first. I really hope things turn out well for your mother. Like, my love goes out to you and your family and everybody else around you, because, you know, that's a really tough thing to deal with. We've all probably dealt with situations like that before, so it's really hard to, go through stuff like this and then still go to work. But at the same time, you got to admire Kevin Owens for the person who he is, and I'm pretty sure his mother probably has the biggest smile on her face just seeing him out there tonight, expressing himself and speaking from the heart. So that I can acknowledge. And you even saw Cody getting teary-eyed too. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, like I agree.
Yeah, I caught that like on the edge.
I agree to support as well. I would like to give my condolences in the health in KO's mom. Like, best of luck to recover. Hopefully you make out and everything. And KO spoke from the heart. Anybody wasn't aware. It wasn't put on the tabloids or on the news report. So I'm just glad that his life and family has been private and everything in this. So best of health and recover for his family. And KO, I love what you said. Like, your mom will be upset if you had to stay home because you've been wanting to do this since the age of 11, and just know that this is your is your calling. And I love that you show your passion into the fans and the audience. It was a real life moment. So I just want to say thank you and blessings and hope for best of recovery.
Yeah, and because like you can just tell on Kevin's face, because I had made note of this too when he was coming out, like, because normally Kevin Owens is like very loud, very just yelling and ready to fight when he's coming out, but tonight he just kind of walked out very serious. And I know commentary tried to play it off as like a more serious Kevin Owens, but like I could even tell through the screen that something was up. And then he said, the thing about his mom, and it's just like, oh, that's why. Okay, well, it all makes sense. Again, condolences. Hopefully everything turns out fine in the long run. But I also kind of hope this match is early in the night too, for Kevin's sake, just in case. So that way, he can go back and do whatever he needs to. But that's really, I don't know. To me, this was like the main talking point with like the whole face team, because it's like, Cody said some buzzwords and phrases. Randy said his buzzwords and phrases. And then Kevin Owens gave this big speech about how he's, going to kick ass for his mother and all that. Like, I don't know. There wasn't much to the faces tonight.
No. I am worried about something.
Yeah, what's up?
Before you say what you're worried about, I just want to say about the face. I'm glad they didn't say much on my end, because Cody lately has been going, for the hands. He's been giving the hands a lot to them, week after week since they interrupted him back at Clash of the Castle. So I'm glad that they just come in here to give words, and it was nice to see him hold the title. But I'm curious, what are you worried about though?
So you know how there's a rumored match between Cody and Solo supposedly going to be at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could probably look at Whawkins and say this, and I could probably tell on the expression on his face. How do you think Solo's going to get there?
By pinning Cody.
Yeah. And I'll say this.
Man.
I'm not the biggest fan.
I hope not.
Of it. Obviously, when it comes to something like that. But I'm obviously not the biggest fan when it comes to a champion getting pinned, unless it's them losing their title, because your champion is supposed to always be booked strong. But I feel like if it was to happen, Cody would probably be all right, because Roman was okay when Jay pinned him last year. But it's like at the same time, it's like, how else is Solo going to get there? Like, we know Roman's probably coming back at SummerSlam, so I don't think Solo's going to get that title at all. More than likely, Roman's going to come out, because we'll get to what Solo said a little bit later. He's fucked. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, like he's not making it. He's not going to make it an easy road, but yeah.
But it's like I could sort of see that being. Oh, I hear echo.
No, on my end, no.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're good now. Yeah.
But like I was saying.
Oh, Vash, it's you. It's your headphone near the microphone.
Oh, sorry. It's because when I have my head here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like I was
All right.
saying, let me see. But like
Yeah.
I was saying, I know it's sometimes hard for me to speak if I hear myself.
Nah, I get
But
you. I got you.
like I was saying, I feel like if that were to happen, it would actually open up the door for a lot of things. And what I mean by that is it gives Solo a way to get Cody at SummerSlam because he did pin a champion. So I guess by fault, that automatically means he's a #1 contender because he pinned Cody. And I guess in a way, that's him getting his win back 2 years ago when Cody was the first one to pin him on the main roster. And then another thing I was thinking of as well is that also could spark tension within the group as well, especially when it comes to Randy. Possibly, maybe that's the fuel that Randy gets, where he just wants to kick the Bloodline's ass once and for all, and he wants to make sure that they're over and done with. Same with Kevin Owens. So if the both of them see Cody being the one for the reason of getting pinned, it could definitely start building into a potential feud with KO, or especially a potential feud with Randy, because Randy has been screwed multiple times. He hasn't ever gotten a W over them yet. And then what if Cody loses here?
Yeah.
We can open the doors for a lot of things.
Yeah, and like you can make it kind of like I guess not a slow build, but like you can kind of start building too for Randy's, because Randy's gonna have to be a heel when he faces Cody. So you can kind of like, because the seeds are already starting to be planted anyways with like the title, like him looking at the title and all that. Whenever Cody's on camera and like whenever they're both on camera and all that. But like you can kind of start the heel turn with him maybe betraying Kevin. Like that could, because here's the other thing too. What are those two going to be doing for SummerSlam?
That's true as well, because you got to look into that as well, because we're probably getting Cody and Solo at SummerSlam, because that just opens the door for Roman Reigns. I mean, that's just a perfect way to bring him back there, especially with what we're seeing right now. And then you got to figure out what Randy and KO are doing. They're not going to just stand in the background, especially if Cody gets pinned tomorrow. They're not going to just still be there and support him. And I don't really see Randy costing Cody the title at SummerSlam, because it doesn't really make any sense at all, because don't you want that? And
exactly.
And also it's like, how are you going to split KO and Randy? Because they can't be friends forever. And Randy would probably be the one to strike on KO. So maybe this is what we see building up to SummerSlam. Maybe it happens tomorrow. Maybe KO and Cody get an RKO tomorrow. Maybe Cody just gets an RKO. Maybe KO just gets an RKO. Maybe we get it towards the build up to SummerSlam. You never know, but I can definitely see that being a program at SummerSlam, because there's no way in hell Triple H is going to leave Randy and KO off the SummerSlam build. Like, they have to give them a match if it's against someone else or towards each other, which I feel like would be pretty cool to see a match between the both of them. So, I mean, that's probably what I would do.
You gave me a good booking idea with, like, Randy turning mid-match against KO and Cody. Like, maybe not even attacking them either. He could just do the whole trope of like just jumping down off the apron, not taking a hot tag, and just leaving. Like he could do that too. But like, that's not a bad shout with that. Like doing like the booking decision like that, because like again, that leads Randy into being a heel, and like because that's the thing, he's eyeing that title. And one thing that Randy Orton loves is his prizes. He loves his titles, loves his championships, and the fact that he's so close to like tying and then beating Ric Flair's record. I mean, that's also tantalizing too. Oh man, but so Vash, you said you were fine with like the baby faces not really saying too much besides KO here, like.
Yeah, I'm okay with this because with Randy, he's been speaking a lot with expression lately. For those that seen like Whawkins was brought up or seen on Twitter with his expressions whenever, like last week Friday at MSG, when Cody said that tonight I want to fight a worthy champion, and the Viper just quickly breaks his neck, be like, word? I could give you the hands real quick if you want a worthy champion. Word? I go, okay, you ass right now. What you mean, my man? So, that's one already opportunity. No, sorry, that was number two. The other opportunity was a Clash at the Castle, where Randy was looking at the belt when he came out to help out Cody when the Bloodline came to attack. So it adds the layers to see to this night when Randy was looking at the belt once again in the ring, and he was just eyeing that belt, and it shows that like he doesn't need to talk right now. Right now he's a baby. Right now people love him, and he has the same opportunity. Remember how Edge came back? He was always a heel, but then when he turned a heel, people still cheer for him. Curious to know for Randy, is he gonna have that same problem? That once he goes back to a heel, will he still have fans cheering for him or will they still boo him? Like, I'm really curious about that.
Oh, they're still gonna cheer him regardless.
Oh yeah, like, and I mean they'll boo him too when they need to. Like, for example, when he does do the eventual turn, like they'll be boos and all that. But like, I mean, during the entrance, people are still gonna be yelling. They'll probably still be singing his song and all that shit. Yeah, well, but you know he'll get the boos when he needs to. A lot like there was somebody else recently that was like that. I can't recall right now, so I'm not gonna spend the time on that. But like we've heard from the baby faces, and again, like I said, I thought this was gonna be our only build for this match. Because, you know, we had heard, oh yeah, Solo's gonna speak, and then we didn't get it until right after the tag team title match, which
like the last 3 minutes, I think the match ended at 9:56. I'm like, wait a minute, we still got 4 minutes. Then boom, cue video package. I'm like, oh shit, we get in a promo. As you see with Solo, I could just smack him like, boy, I want to smack you when you was hitting Paul. Bam, 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 bam.
But like. First of all, it was kind of odd placement for me, at least, to be like, okay, this is how the show closes. Like, okay, fine, neat, but we're adding more aura to Solo right now, because like this was good staging for this segment here with like the dim lighting just like overhead on Solo. Like Solo actually looked like
a crime boss,
a legit like threatening, like a threatening crime boss, exactly like. He looked the part that he was going for.
So, question, Whawkins. Let me know if this scene reminds you of a DC comic. I think the Batman, the animated series, had this a lot in many scenes. Whenever Batman dropped, there was a villain always under, there's a table of his goons, 6 of them, and they're discussing
it. And the lamp that just swings.
And the lamp that swings. That's happened. Yeah. For anybody that knows it, in the Batman animated series, that happens in almost every episode. When Bruce comes in swinging, breaking a warehouse or whatever, you have that one lamp light just swinging or staying still until you hear the whoosh. And this is what this reminds me of, that dim light. Solo in the middle, and the 2 goons of right in the back. Sorry, 3 goons right in the back, just behind him. And I'm like, why do I feel like I've seen this in so many iterations? And it just works with like this. Yeah. This looks like a crime boss, and it works because. With Solo, it's like he has the tribal chief, he has the enforcer, his own one, he has his 2 goons. So like it fits the role. It's just like now after 2 months of building, we finally see Solo to the character that he's been trying to portray to us. So it's very interesting. Like he reminds me of the what was the reference you always called it? It was a GTA character that you always said.
Oh yeah. Oh, that he was just like a GTA online character. Like finally, he's finally got the duds to kind of look like, okay, you know what, you're part of a mafia, yeah, you're cool, you don't have like the aura for like a mafioso boss or anything, but
he's
fine. But like now he's leveled up a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's leveled up a bit, but he had some things to say, like things like declaring that he's the tribal chief, not that he wants to, but that he has to. Yeah, like he has to, because Roman failed, and like he's calling out Roman here. Like it's one thing to call out Cody because WWE champion, and that might just sound like me trivializing it or anything, but like he talked smack about Roman and how he failed and just like he dug himself his own grave, didn't he?
I agree, 100%. He dug his own grave. Why?
And whether that grave is dug, well, not dug,
right.
I guess. Whether that grave is, what?
A quick side question, like another theory craft, because it seems like right now we've been theory crafting this episode.
It's fine.
Sooner or later, Roman Reigns has to push over Solo. So whenever we get the Bloodline OG versus Bloodline 2.0, wouldn't you think that by the second match Roman has to lose against Solo because he has to push him over to actually look like the tribal chief next one? Or what do you guys think? Or chat as well, chime in.
I think I can hear that.
What's up?
I wish we had like a soundboard for it whenever Whawkins does it in chat. That Kratos no is just echoing through my head after Vash said that.
No.
Giving by next week SmackDown show, or I try to do my best by tomorrow Money in the Bank post show. I will have the Stream Deck soundboard. I'll talk to the team after, but I will have the soundboard ready. That'd be my homework. No. But yes, continue, Drop. No, why? Because wouldn't he have to be the next tribal chief if right now with Solo and these new guys be the next generation of the next 20 years or 10 years? Because Roman Reigns wants to go to Hollywood, or he's close to the age, he still got cancer, so he has to push the next generation of the Samoans. So wouldn't Solo have to get pushed by Roman by losing in the second round of the match of Solo and Roman?
I mean, that's entirely up to The Rock. Rock's the whole
yeah.
The Rock's the whole yeah. You gotta look into The Rock being the puppeteer. He's pretty much orchestrating everything that's going on. But even with that in mind, I can't really see with this current iteration of the Bloodline being around like 5 to 10 years from now. This is just to get them in the spotlight, because Jacob Fatu is going to eventually break off and become a huge star in WWE.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see that. I'll tell you, back last week at MSG, I was excited to see his music. At that moment, it was spectacular.
Yeah. So it's like it's kind of hard for me really seeing Roman do that, because this is Roman Reigns at the end of the day. Roman only does that with certain people. Cody Rhodes was an exception because he probably believes in Cody Rhodes. So, but I mean, look at what we see on a regular day basis with him. He's the perfect candidate to be the poster boy of WWE. He has everything. So that made sense when he put him over at WrestleMania. And then with Jay, that made sense because they're known to be like one of the best tag teams in WWE, or the best tag team in WWE, just based on their accolades and what they accomplished, especially with the whole Bloodline story. Really elevated them to new levels that they weren't at before. Because I still remember when they came out with face paint, and then looking at them now, him and Jimmy are like known as like the best tag team in the company because of that legendary reign and because of what happened within that Bloodline story. But looking what's going on between Solo and Roman, could it happen? Sure, but it's hard for me to really see it, because at the end of the day, this is very forced with Solo. Solo is forcing himself in this position because he feels it's right. The end of the story should be Roman fixing all the wrongs that Solo did. Not saying that we're going to see Roman walk around with a new group of people and do the same thing that we saw before. That because I don't see that. But the whole end of the story should be Roman fixing all the wrongs with Solo, and then that's when the final boss appears, and that's when it starts getting more interesting.
Yeah, and like that, like the biggest part with at least the beginning part of this. I guess the first arc of this whole saga of the Bloodline, with like Bloodline 2.0 and all that, like the way I'm seeing it is like part of it is Roman like getting the family back, and like a lot of that I feel like in the beginning is going to be him kind of fighting on his own. So with that first match with Solo, I could see it being like heavily leaning on the outside interference. So like having both the Tongas out there, having Jacob Fatu like constantly like interfering in the match and like getting the referee distracted, attacking Roman while they're able to do that. Like I could see it like being it's going to be an uphill battle for Roman regardless, but like one that's going to be even more uphill now because like I don't know. Somebody remind me: is Jimmy legitimately hurt, or was he just written off TV for a bit? Because like, if he's legitimate, go ahead.
I think he was written off. I
think,
didn't really see anything come out.
Yeah, and I think he's written off, and I don't think we have seen any news report of him being actually hurt, like him being out for X amount of months because of extra disc. So I haven't heard any news report of that or type of announcement of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So like so again, like, and I know I've said this like in the past few weeks too, like the whole crux of all this is like Roman getting the family back together, but like him making amends with people like Jay. And I mean, I'm saying Sammy's going to be involved somehow with all this because I mean, Sammy is a good guy and he's about to get demolished here in Money in the Bank, but don't worry, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't make me send you. Don't make me isekai you into another world where you used to be an editor and now you're the princess's left shoe.
I'm actually on the same. You might have to do that to me and Vash. I'm actually on the same page.
Look, we'll come to that conversation when we get to it. Did I say he was going to lose? Did I say he was going to lose? I just said he was going to get destroyed.
I can't wait to get to the end now. Oh, I'm very excited for this. Oh, I thought I was alone here. Oh shit! I'm not
You're not alone. Again, I didn't say lose. I said destroyed.
Oh yeah, of course. But we're gonna
yeah. But yeah, we'll get to that here in a little bit.
Question before we transition to the Money in the Bank build up. I have a question. How did y'all feel about Jay being here tonight for Friday Night SmackDown, but not being involved to any Bloodline stuff or get any type of, seeds being planted?
I'm okay with how it was structured right now because I feel like the main thing Jay needs to focus on right now is the Money in the Bank. He shouldn't be focusing on two things at once, like Bloodline and Money in the Bank, because that's your golden opportunity to get your world title at any time. So don't worry about what the hell's going on with Solo. Focus on that Money in the Bank briefcase because that's Cody, KO, and Randy's issue to deal with. So he doesn't. So I'm perfectly fine with him coming out on SmackDown to help build up the match. I think the way it was structured was perfectly fine. I mean, that's probably how I would book it too. Because you don't want to have it just feel. I don't know. I don't know if I would be a big of a fan of just having like all of that thrown in there tonight.
Yeah, like the most I see happening, at least at this point, maybe tomorrow night they exchange a look or a glance backstage. Yeah. But I don't think anything physical is going to happen yet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. But, yeah, I mean, that was all our build-up for this Bloodline stuff. Again, like, Solo is digging his own grave right now, saying, he has to be the tribal chief, where it's, no, you're not going to pull that. We've seen how you looked at that. They even said the name of the damn thing, and I forgot to write it down. The thing that denotes him as the tribal chief. Like, he even, like, I don't know if you guys remember that, when he held that thing in the middle of the... Yeah.
I forgot the name.
Yeah, when he, like, held onto that thing in the middle of the ring and, like, stared at it. And he was tempted at that time, but he put it on Roman. But it's like, you're not fooling anybody, Solo. We saw how you looked at that thing in the back.
By the way, big shout out for the booking and the writing for this, because for people that don't know what Whawkins is talking about, this happened at last year MSG SmackDown as well, where Solo had to help Roman, and where he was in the corner of the ring and Solo held the beads, and that was last year MSG, and then they replayed that to show that a year later now he's the next tribal chief. So it shows how a year storyline later could tell, where last year Cody wasn't there, he is now the champion, and what could mean for Roman and now Solo being the next heir, or is the next heir. So
Yep.
nice callback, Whawkins, to bring it up, because I just want to give a big shout out to the nice booking that Triple H been doing so far with the Bloodline and with the team itself, with the writers, producers, Paul Heyman, and everyone else. I just want to give where credit's due, because to actually know that, I love how they make stadium events very important to the location, to wrestlers as well. Like, earlier we didn't bring it up either, but for the DIY as well, when they said that they were united here, this event means something because is where they debuted 10 years ago, blah blah blah. So all this means something. So I love how all these things about the stadium itself, MSG, or where they are now, or like, it means something to a story. So I just want to give that as well, like, acknowledgement of.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, especially in media, like, there's always like that place that like special things happen. Like, I mean, the first thing that's coming into my mind is like, oh, the Final Valley from Naruto. Well, that's a sacred place because that was where the first Hokage and Madara Uchiha fought for the, who's going to rule the Leaf Village and all that. Like, that is a sacred place. And that's why, like, Naruto and Sasuke's fight there meant so much, because it's just like, oh, this is basically our Madison Square Garden, or our Toronto, or if you will, because of storyline reasons with all that. But like, again, I think everything just kind of deals with storyline. We'll have to just wait and see, because like Triple H, and especially with the Bloodline storyline, it's crafted in a way that you kind of got to go back and just kind of remind yourself about when things happened and how things happened. And I mean, even more importantly now, as Vash was getting on with, where certain things happened, like next time we're in Chicago, we'll have to look out for anything that might happen with the final boss and all that. So yeah, but that's enough of the Bloodline. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of this Bloodline too. They destroyed Paul Heyman last week. I'm over them. I'm done with the main event. I'm done with our top stories and all that. We got some mid-card stories to talk about. Got some mid-card action in our wrestling. We're going to start with, of course, our Money in the Bank ladder match. We had a small build here tonight where, normally we get all the people that are involved in the match just kind of going out there, saying their buzzwords, saying their buzz phrases, saying their saying their yeets, all their stuff, giving us their... And I put this on here because, like, they're doing this thing this year where, like, everybody seems to have some sort of custom Money in the Bank briefcase name.
Except one
so
person.
It's like...
Yeah,
except for a couple people.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
No, for him is DM Hunk is what Carmelo called him, or something like that on the pre-show.
Well, that's not like money. I'm speaking mainly like Money in the Bank. So like Yeet in the Bank, or Tiffy in the Bank.
Or him in the
what was
bank.
a few other ones? Oh, yeah, him in the bank,
Oh,
Master in the bank. Like,
Dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I can't take it seriously when Gable says that, because my mind goes somewhere else.
The Master in
just
the
like,
Bank.
dude,
Whenever I hear that word, I think of the
Just think about it,
animation
Vash.
cartoon show
Don't
Master
say
of
it
the
on
Universe.
air. No, just think about it for a few seconds. Don't say it on air.
That's what I'm keeping
man.
PG saying. Master of the Universe.
Yeah.
That's what comes
Yeah,
to my
our
mind.
truth. Yeah, just keep it our truth on here.
But for
yeah, exactly.
each of them having a catchphrase, I love how when they came out, we had our Yeah versus Yeet one-on-one go, and it was hilarious. I love that moment, and I love how they were trying to top one of each other with the Yeet. Yeah, Yeet, yeah.
Then the glasses came off. Yeet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad LA Knight wasn't able to respond back.
I know, right? Like, oh, you couldn't get the last word in. Damn you.
That was a first,
Damn you,
but I
Carmelo
love
Hayes.
that. This was a good introduction. I mean, a good interaction is the word I was looking for. Interaction between two characters of babyface addicts we have not seen on screen together, and I loved it. Two, was it you guys that noticed this too? Because I noticed that when Carmelo came out, he got a good zinger on, I think, LA Knight, and LA Knight smirk. like he smiled about the
Yeah.
line that he gave him, and I was like, I felt like Aaron was proud of him. Like, nice one, you set it straight, you didn't fuck up, you got it good. Like I started to smirk that, like that. Aaron was proud of him. I'm like, me too. I'm proud of Carmelo. He got the zinger. Like of him walking out.
Yeah, the more he's on there, the more he's gonna improve. So I actually really liked what he said to LA there.
Yeah, same here. Like I'm glad because after a couple times of Carmelo kind of, I don't want to say floundering on the mic because he is really good on the mic, but he had a few missteps. Yeah, a few stumbling spots here and there, with his promos and all that. But like, I was happy tonight. He said what he did, and it was just so sweet. And of course, Gable coming out there being like, "I'm gonna win," and like, I feel like he's gonna get screwed over by the Wyatt Six a little bit. Like, I don't know if they're gonna do a lot in the match, but they're at least gonna like turn the lights off and all that.
I'm sorry that I'm laughing.
Gable does need to keep it PG.
It's because it's not chat. It's me laughing, remembering what Gable said in the pre-show and during the show. Him telling the audience, saying that, guys, I got shot in the head. I'm still coming out. I'm here, a miracle. And I'm like, why does it feel like he was like in the street that like it just came like a drive-by, like just somebody get pop, just shot, and he came out of the hospital still kicking like, yeah, I got out of the hospital, I'm all alive, kicking after just a quick surgery and alive. I'm like, why you making it sound like that? Like, the Wyatt family came at you, but you just healed up. But like, remember the saying when you watch movies, like you have to have like disbelief. I forgot what's the phrase.
Oh, suspension of disbelief?
Yeah, right now that's what I'm having myself telling when Gable talks about the Wyatt family, of people getting him. That's why I have to remind myself, like, just ignore Gable, just go along with the story. Just go along with the story.
Yep. No, okay. Have you guys been watching this new season of The Boys by chance?
Nah, I don't watch it.
I've seen clips.
Okay.
I know one or two things about milk.
I know of that too.
Dude, I watched that episode today. I'm like, oh, we're going back down this route. Cool, awesome, great. No, so luckily this doesn't have to have anything to do with big old mommy milkers. But so there's a character on there. She's like the smartest person in the world and all that. But in order to like kind of escape all that and to escape being the smartest person, she gets her own version of high, which is basically giving herself a lobotomy every night. But the reason I reference that is
where
it kind of
is the transition for this going?
Oh, don't worry. It'll make sense because like in the latest episode, she gets shot in the head, but like it doesn't kill her. It just kind of makes her high. And so she goes into this meeting and she's just like trying to keep it straight, kind of, trying to keep herself, calm, cool, collected, like anyone would if they were high and they had to go to like a business meeting immediately afterwards. But like the way she was kind of acting and how Chad Gable's just been like, oh, yo, look, I'm a miracle. I survived this head wound. It's like, wait, are you just high? Are you just high right now on life? And you're just like, so disconnected from the world because of getting shot in the head? Because that wasn't just any old injury, Chad Gable. No, you got shot in the head.
It's like another transition to compare Sunday for wrestling is like yesterday. I was watching TNA, and yes, guys, very shocked. I was watching TNA yesterday for the first time, and then I was watching Joe Hendry your segment of like Do You Believe? When I was watching Chad Gable, for some reason, Joe Hendry's song coming like, Do You Believe? I'm like, do we believe Chad Gable got shot in the head and he's a live miracle? Talking about the way, I'm like, you keep talking about them. Even during the promo of the kickoff, I think it was tonight, Chad Gable during the promo said that I survived with the Wyatt family. And Jay said that you keep bringing them up. I don't want shit about them. And Gable said the Wyatt may come during the match and I will still stand eyes front tall and be up front. And Jay said, if they call me, I'm hyped. What you mean? Because Gable asked him, "Where were you during the show last week?" He literally said it. I was hiding. What you mean? I was under the ring. I'll tell you in the audience, like they know, I was hiding under the ring. I don't want shit with them. The Fireflies, they got them. They can have them back. I don't want shit. I love Jay's response. Like, his attitude towards it is like, yo, I am good. This is none of my business.
I wonder, okay, because now I'm thinking, oh no, now I'm thinking, this is now fantasy. We've entered fantasy booking territory in my mind now.
Brain.
Exactly. Like, it literally, you go right into the air, and it's just like, oh, look at all this. You don't go into the shadow corner. Nobody goes into the shadow corner. I don't even like going into the shadow corner. But, like, okay, what if the Wyatt Six do interfere in the match, but they decimate, like, the entire match? Like everyone, like, because that's the thing. It's like, there's some connections to Bray through them with LA Knight, with Jey Uso, with Chad Gable. I'm sure you could do something. You could tie something in with like Andrade and Carmelo. Well, Carmelo, he betrayed his brother and Trick Williams.
Bro,
if we want to like dug into all that,
why?
like,
Wait a minute. That's probably why he brought it up today at the pre-show. He said that if he wins Money in the Bank, he could go whoop that Trick again. He said it, which I'm like, why would he cash the Money in the Bank at NXT title? But sure. But that makes sense because now it just connected to him hurting his family or hurting his brother. That does make sense why he brought this up in the pre-show.
Nicki Minaj versus SpongeBob. What?
I don't know.
What are you guys doing in the chat right now?
Hold up,
Joe Hendry versus Megatron. Look, Joe Hendry's gonna win. Fuck Megatron.
Yeah.
We gotta believe.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I know we have our conversation for later at the end of the show about who do we have for Money in the Bank conversation, so I will save that for that. But for Carmelo, I want to give his props. Like I said earlier, he did good. I felt bad that he got interrupted too soon by Chad Gable during the mic. I wish he had like another type of 30 seconds because I felt like he had more to say. I love how Andre literally was there and gave no business. He literally, put a little 1, 2, 3 hands. Yeah, exactly. He's tranquilo.
Yeah.
He gave his little 1, 2, 3 hit and then walked behind back and like, all right, cool. I did my business. I'm gonna walk back to the locker room. I'm good.
Nah, the real star from this segment was, of course, big old daddy Drew McIntyre, who just comes out and just he's the one on the mic now that just runs down everybody. We had El Idiot coming out. We had him being like, "Hey, you're looking at him, Carmelo Hayes." We had. I think my favorite part out of all of these is he just looks at Chad Gable. And he's just like, "I'm sorry," and it's just like, "Oh, you don't have anything else to say," because it ties into Drew's thing so well with like him being the truth seeker and all that, and speaking the truth. Of this, just like, oh, he could say something to really put down Chad Gable, but Chad already survived death, so it's like, okay. He can't really do or say too much beyond what Chad Gable's already experienced. So it's like, okay, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I can't say anything. So let's go on ahead. Basically saying no to LA Knight. And I love how we're also tying in like this whole thing about how Jay got over the border because of his like criminal record with like DIYs and all, or DUIs, excuse me.
But then that makes me question how the hell are the other people in the bloodline gonna cross the border? Like, is that why they're not here on Friday? Because they can only come Saturday and leave Sunday. So I'm like, is that why?
Maybe.
So I'm like, I'm a bit confused.
Maybe.
That's my question. Is like, is that why Jay could? Because he has less, and then the other crews got their own shit to handle, so that's why they could only come tomorrow. That's my guess. That's just my theory.
Maybe because like. Well, like, because when you look at the graphic for the 6-man tag, like, the only one that's not in the foreground for the Bloodline is Tongaloa. So you're kind of expecting him to be, like, the fourth guy just, out in the ring and all that. But, yeah, it's kind of odd that we didn't get any more confirmation with, like, who of the Bloodline is going to be in the match beyond that, I guess. But... yeah, no, I just love Drew on the mic, and just how they're playing with this whole how did you get across the border thing, because I know they said that, or at least Jay joked about it in that kickoff show that they were having.
Oh, he was excited as hell. He was like, I'm just glad I
Yeah.
got in. He's like, I'm just glad I got in. That's
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, Michael Cole.
Exactly.
I'm just glad I got in. I'm here. I came here to work. That's it. They got me in.
Yep. And of course, brawl ensues. Everybody's fighting each other, and the yeet combo ends up standing tall in the middle of the ring. And if we know anything about our wrestling, and especially about our go home shows, the people on top on those go home shows normally don't end up winning.
Hey, man! I'm gonna still hope for my yeet. I'm gonna still hope for my yeet, my G. So I'm gonna still do. I'm gonna hope for the best.
Yeah, so I don't mean to break up the conversation, but I might have to go
No,
because
you're good.
something came up.
Copy that. Copy that.
Ooh. I hope everything's all right with you, Jude.
Oh yeah, everything's good. It just my mom wants me to watch the dog. So
Okay.
yeah, but I'll still be in the chat.
Copy that. Copy that.
All right, no problem. No worries.
All
Hold down the chat very well for us, then drop.
Oh, I will.
Send us your... Yeah.
I will be on here tomorrow for people that are watching for the post show that we're doing for Money in the Bank. I will be there.
Yeah. All right, no problem. Send us your predictions too, so we'll read them out.
In the chat, yes. That's on the chat.
Yeah, I'll put them in there.
Yo,
Whenever you guys are going
Alright,
over, I'll put them in there.
And chat,
Yeah.
I have a problem with y'all. How do y'all let me go through during the stream and have the anime podcast layout, and I have the Weebs of the Ring layout? I just noticed that right now, the whole time.
Oh. No, don't feel bad. I noticed that too right now.
I'm like, yo,
Don't worry,
why
it's
do-
fine.
Like,
It's all
why do I
good.
have the main brand logo on the Weebs of the Ring show? I'm like, oh, we don't got the different one. Well, damn.
It's fine. There we go. Okay. Oh, you already fixed it too. Perfect.
Yeah, just
Oh,
oh,
man.
I'm like, hey, you know what? We're just gonna do it like this.
All right. All right, cool. But yeah, simple, easy build for the match. I mean, most of the build has been through the triple threats and all that, and through just other promos that we've had. I don't know. This was just a short, simple, easy segment. You know, nothing too
combo.
too topic
It
heavy.
made it work. We're good to move
Yeah.
on because you know what? The one that I am, look, not saying that I was excited about this match, but this match just came out of nowhere. I didn't expect it to happen. It was like, what? What are we talking about? I mean, what am I talking about, Whawkins?
Oh, we had Pretty Deadly versus the Street Profits. Now, this was set up last week. It was like a very short moment in Nick Aldis's office where like Pretty Deadly and Street Profits were just back there talking to him, and hey, Street Profits can't get another shot at the tag titles, so hey, well, let's fight Pretty Deadly instead. They're here, they're being weird, let's just beat them up. Fine, whatever. And beat them up they did. This was a good match, I thought. Like, both teams did really well with like the roles they have and what they were doing and all that. Like, Pretty Deadly, like they are a really good tag team, but their whole role is like kind of like the chicken shit heel, where it's like, okay, we're good, but we kind of need to like do dastardly cheaty things in order to like get the upper hand, which they do, because like even though most of this match was the Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, you know, cheating and all that. But Vash, you said you didn't catch most of this match.
I did catch most of this match. I just didn't pay attention. Because like it was in the corner of my screen. Like I was hearing it, I just didn't get to see a lot, like, of the movesets or the jump that Montez Ford did. That was really cool. That I heard from Kurt Graves saying announced me. But I didn't get to analyze the match or give a full feedback. Like I saw the match, but I was in the middle of helping out with dinner, so I couldn't give too much feedback in the aspect. Other than it was dope, the match. Not saying that I was not excited for it. It's just that I totally forgot it was a setup from last week, and I believe that Wade Barrett said it during the commentary, saying that with this match would it help with Pretty Deadly to get back in the forefront with the tag team division in the audience eyes, which is a good and true statement because Pretty Deadly has been very slow in the build or conversation when it comes to the team of the tag team division. Pretty Deadly haven't been aligned in the forefront in it, and I hope for much of their success. But if they're not being shown any type of TV time, it's hard for them to be at least eye-catching or be in the title, in the number one contender type of picture. So I'm glad they get some title Street Profits, but it sucks that there is this type of continuous type of gimmick about with the Street Profit. I mean, not Street Profit, with Pretty Deadly. That this type of joke of them, switch a position or do this little skit about them to just win the match. Like, hopefully they could win clean to actually show their skill set, because I know they've been very good at NXT UK and had a very good run before they came on the main roster on NXT as well. So I really want to see their skill sets in the ring other than just their jokes around it.
Yeah. And you know what? I get that. I get that, kind of criticism with them. It just, that kind of is their style in a way. Like, and it's not like it's a super jokey style, but like, they're good at the comedy stuff, obviously, but they are kind of one of those teams, one of those people that do cheat to win and all that. So like, that's kind of their shtick, and it's like that's what makes them good. So like, that's what kind of adds with their repertoire. Is like, okay, we have to cheat in order to like get the upper hand, and then we can start showing off what all we can do. Because like, I mean, there were a couple instances in this match too. It's like, I think it was Kit. It was either Kit or Prince. I don't know. I always get them mixed up, anyways. Even though they have different colored hair, that's besides the point. But one of them like went into the other corner. Like they were on the apron and they went to the other corner and they kind of like jumped over the top of it with their body, like, so they had their body hanging a little bit to kind of block their partner from getting whipped into the corner and all that. So it's like things like that, like simple little, tag team or double team maneuvers like that like really add to a team's just overall style in the ring as well. Because, you're showing that, okay, they work cohesively as a unit. They know how to not only protect each other, but are able to move around with the competition as well. And yeah, so again, I thought this was a really good match. Like there was one spot too where they Pretty Deadly did a double team move on, I think it was Montez Ford. Yeah, it was Montez Ford, and Kit had to like kind of do an extra roll on the mat in order to get into position for Dawkins to do this swanton bomb off the top rope. I just thought it always makes me giggle a little bit when I notice spots like that where it's like, okay, we gotta like quickly roll into our spot, or like, well, I don't think this part was planned, but like on NXT, when the one dude like grabbed the NXT title and put it in the middle of all four guys to kind of symbolize, oh, this is the match you're getting at Heatwave. Like, I always find it funny when when you notice something like that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that I agree when the match has their moments when the frog splash, because I remember I was watching, I forgot, highlight reel of Eddie Guerrero being known as one of the best frog splash, and it's always dope to hear that, like, inspiration from that. Montez Ford, I would say he is currently one of the best frog splashes as well. Like, I feel like he really gives that high elevation. I feel like they've been practicing, and I believe like a couple of weeks ago, one of us gave Angelo Dawson his credit. I think it was during the King of the Ring tournament. Angelo Dawson did great in that match as well. Like, these Street Profits they're ready to take the belts from DIY when it comes down the next 2 or 3 months down the road, because they will 100% get those belts from them.
Ooh, you're saying they're 100% getting them. All right, I mean, again, that's not a bad shout. I like the Street
Oh hell
Profits, so
yeah! I love the Street Profits and I believe
like,
in them. I believe.
mm, they might. I could see like when Bobby Lashley comes back, them getting the titles then, because like that could kind of push them. I mean, I know they tried to do them heel. I know they tried to turn them heel and make them heel and all that, but like maybe just that little bit extra edge when Bobby Lashley comes back to be like, hey, look, boys, you guys did all right, but you got to turn it up to 11 if you want to succeed, and we gotta succeed. So maybe that comes from just a slight heel turn, or maybe just like being a little more aggressive in the ring. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with that, but. This wasn't the
Eh,
only tag match we got tonight. We had another tag match. In fact, this is probably like the third time we got this match.
look,
Jade
it
Cargill and
happened.
Bianca Belair versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. How'd you feel about the match?
Candice and Lorraine need to win. Candice LeRae and Indy
Yeah.
Hartwell needs to win. Like, if you're gonna have them be a tag team and I have them, give them a win, even in singles or tags, then like, it doesn't help them in the long run. That's the honest truth.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with Oblivion here in the chat with the snore emoji here. It was, oh my gosh, like, because that's the thing. I like Candace, and I mean, I tolerate Indy, but that's because of reasons that I mentioned last week. And if you don't remember that, well,
Go watch it.
just go to last week and you'll find out. Yeah, go watch it.
Um,
But like, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna add another thing. Jade Cargill and Bianca, I love that they get in the spotlight, but like,
Mhm.
not saying that I am falling off Bianca again and not falling off Jade, but it sucks that they're hogging all the spotlight because it's like I feel like this win should have gone to Indian Candice where they're the heel.
Mhm.
Give them that L. I mean, give them the W. Give Jade and Bianca an L for now, and next week they could give a W against somebody else because
Mhm.
we need to build up our tag team division as a whole and not just have the baby faces win continuously and have like a perfect role for them. Like I know Bianca's numbers. I know she brings audience and fans where it is, but she will always have it right now. They're both are printing money. But if you want Candice LeRae
Yeah.
and India Hardware to also print money in the future, you need them to also take W's. Right now they're a snooze fest, but it's because they're not getting good booking. But I believe that this should have been won by them to build the slow tension that they need right now, but small seeds that okay, they took another L. Jade is still obsessed with these titles. With Bianca, she doesn't need the titles. She could still go back to
Mhm.
singles, so she doesn't stress about those tag titles. Those things could have been seeded, planted. But those are my two
Mhm.
cents. Where like, hey, Indy Hartwell, I'm glad Candice and Indy has this money. They're getting this paycheck and everything. But if you want to build your tag team division in the woman, where a lot of critics, fans have criticized your tag team division of the woman of why these titles don't mean much, or because you have no credential in your tag team division and your baby faces are winning the time, but your heels are not, and all they keep getting boo or not a lot of fans, you gotta help them out. You gotta give them the good booking as well for the heels to build up. That's why they haven't succeeded. Shayna and Zoe hasn't, and other people. I'm sorry. Drop.
Mhm.
I brought Zoe's name back on the stream,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
hey, I'm just giving to the point that Candice and Indy, if they're not getting booked, well, they're not gonna get love. So if they're not getting a W against these good guys, then how does it do? Like Indy cost Jade the title last week, and now they're gonna get another L. So what's the point of costing the titles if you're not gonna continue growing up? Like Whawkins, I don't want to feel like I'm going to the circus. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
No, I know.
Like you see the vision of what I'm talking about makes sense or what?
Yeah. No, I get it. Like, because that's the thing. You want your you want your baddies to look strong and all that. Like, you want your talent to look strong and all that. But I will say so. So first, I don't agree with them. Like, at least Bianca and Jay taking an L from these two. Mainly because of like the characters that Candice and Indy are, like, and especially Candice. Like, I mean, I don't want to fully say she's a chicken shit heel, but she is, again, cheating to win and all that stuff. But it's like, you also kind of look at Bianca and Jade, and it's just like, okay, just on paper and just on looks alone, you'll be like, oh, Candice should not be beating somebody that looks like Jade, And I mean, again, that's just based off looks and on paper and all that.
Oh yeah,
bullshit.
like girl got the build, the muscle, the strength. Even Wade Barrett
Exactly.
said it, like she got the body of a god or a titan. I think Wade Barrett said something like that. That makes total sense. But at least like one of them has to take it out. Like yes, for booking wise, these are stars. Like these are platinum stars, like gold cards. I get it. But if you're gonna have Indy and Hartwell, like who can you have them be in the tag team division right now? And right now, the only people that are really showing face is with these, because right now Piper and Chelsea, they're doing the own thing as singles still as a team.
Yeah.
But then when you have with Bianca and Indy, there is only a tag team division, and other than that, there is no mid card title yet. So it's kind of hard to give these type of people good booking when it's like there's no fans for them, but it's because there's no good booking for them.
Yeah. So it's just like, on one hand, I get what you're saying with like, them winning, but like I feel like Jade and Bianca's L is gonna come when they go for the tag titles again. I think that's when they're gonna eat that other loss, and we'll start pushing and planting more seeds and all that to however we get to Bianca versus Jade. And I do want to go back really quick because like you had mentioned something about like Jade and Bianca. I kind of want to phrase it as being stale because that's kind of how their characters are. And I believe I've said this in the past too. It's like part of me wants Bianca to go away for a little bit. And it's not that like I don't like Bianca or anything, or that I think she's bad or anything. Like it's nothing like that. First of all, it's the fact that well, not only just like build more stars, because that's part of it too. So more TV time for those stars as well, would help too. But like, how's the phrase go again? Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and because the same thing happened with Becky for a bit. It's like, okay, I love Becky. She's great. She's awesome. Great for TV. Great for merchandise. All that good stuff. Kind of tired of seeing on TV a lot, but maybe go away for a bit, which now she has, and it's just like, you know what, great. I miss Becky Lynch right now. I should feel that because I do like her, but I do want other people to get their shots and get their moments and all that. And I'm kind of getting that way. I've been that way with Bianca since probably around WrestleMania time. Like, actually, maybe even since Royal Rumble. Now I'm thinking about it a little bit more, but maybe that can come with this next loss and all that. But like the fact that I think my biggest thing with this match and why like I kind of agreed with Oblivion in the chat, it's like I just didn't care to see this match, and I really shouldn't feel that way when you have two stars like Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, and especially for Candice and Indy. But like I'm mainly thinking more of like those stars that are higher up on the card. So it's like I shouldn't go into a Jade and Bianca match, whether it's them against each other or them as a team facing each other or other people, excuse me. I shouldn't feel like I don't care about that match. And like this match started,
you already know the results as well, so that they're gonna win too. So it doesn't help it to know like, okay, they're gonna win in the next couple minutes, and they're gonna do some cool moves, and like you see some nice type of double finisher, and then you see Jade doing her nice type of thing of finisher. She goes going to the camera, boom, nice.
It's not like when you get a match like Bayley versus Piper Niven. It's not like the outcome of that one's gonna be Bayley going over like. But it's all about, for me, it's always about, how do we get there? What's the story? What's the journey getting there? But it's like, for some of these matches, you kind of know what the journey is. You kind of know that, Bianca and Jade are going to end up overpowering these two. They're going to cheat. That they're going to lose because, like, again, Jade and Bianca aren't just going to be losing on a random SmackDown to Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. And it just kind of sucks because I don't want to feel that way, but I do. I, just I was bored with it, and I mean it happened. So just like this match, it happened. Double finishers, great. We'll be seeing you for the tag title soon. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. It'll be a fine match, I'm sure, but we're going to move on to our other women's match because, hey, we still got a women's Money in the Bank ladder match to build up for tomorrow. And what better way than having your women's champion face off against her former challenger in Piper Niven? Now, this got made official because Chelsea Green distracted Bayley in the back, attacked by Piper, and Aldis made it official. Naomi's going to be out there with Bayley. The one thing I want to say about the setup real quick is I like how Chelsea, because I know Chelsea is looking on social media for all this, because a lot of people either on social media or in the YouTube spectrum, they're saying that, like, if Chelsea Green wins the briefcase, the whole story with that is her basically sicking Piper Niven on every champion and then beating them up, and then Chelsea Green just coming in and cashing in. Vash, what do you think about that idea of if Chelsea Green wins the Money in the Bank briefcase? Like, how do you like that booking for it?
For the booking, I love it. I support it. Chelsea Green all the way. And it has to have a green in the front and a Chelsea in the back, and it has to be signed by Samantha Irwin by saying like say have like 4 or 5 green like E's just showing like the long ass green being said.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, I love it that she's using Piper Niven as her type of bodyguard. But question to the chat and to the audience: am I the only one that's not saying weirded out? But how do you feel of having a PLE booking that was just done 3-4 weeks ago, and then have it on a regular TV show? Like Piper Niven and Bayley was Clash at the Castle, and now 3 weeks later we're having it on a regular night for SmackDown. Because like that's so recent. When I feel like if it was like 6-5 months ago, then oh good. But then we have it now too close. I feel like it's kind of weird.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Alright.
Like, it doesn't really bother me because, like, again, kind of like what I was just saying, like a couple minutes ago. It's like, even if we know the outcome of this match, because again, it's non-title for one, but for two, you're kind of trying to make your champion still look strong, but like kind of like this desperately strong, but she's winning matches, whatever. But I mean, I'm fine with it. At least that's just me though, because like the whole crux of this match really wasn't like about Piper Niven or Bayley for that matter. It was all about the people that were around it, because like you had all these women that are gonna be in the women's Money in the Bank match,
amazing.
like. Yeah, they were just around there. So it's like you had Io and Lyra Valkyria. You had both of them in the audience. You had Naomi and Chelsea like being there ringside for their people. Tiffany Stratton ended up coming down the rampway, and Zoe Stark existed.
No pop for her.
That's,
no pop. Nobody excited to see her.
If anything, a negative pop.
And Nia Jax also came out to disrupt this match, which I didn't expect. So a whole brawl comes in. Nia kind of decimates everyone, and Tiff and Nia relationship is going to be changing if Tiffany wins, because now that Nia has to secure a match for SummerSlam, most likely Nia may be winning or Bayley's retaining. Either or, that's a different discussion for the next coming weeks. But then for Tiffany, like if she has the briefcase, how will their relationship kind of develop? So that'll be intriguing. But for the match that got set up for Mitchin, that was curious. How did you feel about that? Having Mitchin involved at the end
Yeah.
as well, because even Wade Barrett gave a reference to this past week street fight of her versus
Hmm.
Jada. Yes.
Yeah, Jada. Yeah. Like, okay, yeah, that was an interesting wrinkle in all this because like we're also getting, that also led to we're getting Nia Jax versus Mission next week on SmackDown. But it's like, yeah, we're throwing Mission in here now. It's like, okay, this is cool because this is what I wanted. I wanted more Mission on my television screen. Like I wanted her to do more, and she has been doing more. She's been like making the rounds on NXT and SmackDown. So yeah, throwing in her in here, cool, great. Like we're gonna build her up a little bit. Maybe honestly, like my immediate thought, and I mean, it sucks because like she's kind of, helping out and inserting herself somewhat in a women's main title picture, but like my immediate thought with it was just like she's a good person to put as like your first women's mid card champion because that's the thing. Like you could give it to like anybody else, you could, but like Mission seems like she's a good hand to have around and a good hand to use to like elevate somebody else and like kind of solidify her own legacy as well with like being the first mid card champion for women
I agree.
in WWE.
We have great.
And she could put over, yeah.
We have we have had given great options. Chelsea Green. We have given great options
Hmm.
as Mitchin. I support you saying that about her. I believe she could give that great contender choice for that. Like I'm all for Mitchin, and she's been helping and giving time for the next generation of the NXT superstars. So I am loving it that she has time on NXT and SmackDown every week. Like she's been giving
Yeah.
like her time and her flowers due. Even if she hasn't been losing, she's been giving a lot of TV time, and a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, again, like nothing much to this match. I mean, again, it's more of an angle just to kind of build to the women's Money in the Bank match. And I mean, even then, it didn't really do too much besides just have a brawl happen. Which I mean, that's fine too. I mean, it kind of started with Chelsea Green and Naomi getting into it, and then Io Sky just jumping the barricade, attacking, and then Lyra attacking, and then Zoe doing her thing, a big old moonsault from Tiffany Stratton.
Oh my god, that
Like
was so cool.
that's
That
the
was
thing. Yeah.
amazing. Like great shot or great spot.
Oh
It
yeah, it
was
looked great.
really good.
Yeah. But like they didn't really do too much to like build up more, which like again, we got a lot through the triple threat matches and everything else surrounding the women's Money in the Bank. But I mean, yeah, there not much to really go off of until we get to like our prediction territory.
So for that, Matt asked
And
us about this match of the Piper Niven versus Bailey. I love how Piper Niven continues somehow being nearby with Chelsea. Like, yo, I'm gonna give you the
mhm,
code, and you just throw her against these type of Pelican cases, and just shut her down. And
yeah.
um, my other thoughts is Naomi. You are eyeing that belt more than usual now. You're starting
Oh
to be
yeah.
like Randy. You're giving that body language very well, very much to be like, huh, the belt is catching my interest. Like, yeah, Naomi, you had
Hmm.
the two open chances as a friendly. Now you're starting to eye her more. So I love that slow build up from Bailey not having her only friend now, maybe slowly betray her or just slowly be a rival now or competition more in the belt. Um, Zoe, you're there. Piper, I'm glad that you're still becoming a main eventer type of role. Like, still being one
Hmm.
on one, even though, like I said earlier in the beginning of this segment, it was with the PLE rematch type of match going on 3 weeks later. But overall, I'm happy for Piper to get her flowers due because we did speak about it on the PLE post show and the week before that Piper Niven is a great talent. She should be deserved to get her flowers due. And like she said it at the kickoff on the PLE of Clash of the Castle, she has been doing this and has been pushing doors down. And I love how Chelsea Green has been behind her and helping her get front and center. So I'm happy the women's division is getting the spotlight it deserves, but those are my last thoughts about this match overall of the last segment of SmackDown Overall.
Yeah. And, before we, give our final thoughts on SmackDown really quick, I do want to point out really quick, especially for all you lovely folks in the chat. I see 8 likes on this right now. That is great. That is awesome. I love that. However, what I love better is I love double digits. So if by the end of this, podcast night, by the end of this live stream, if we can get to 10, man, that would really make my heart soar. And if we do, I'm gonna give Sydney a treat tonight. If not, well, she probably will not get a treat for tonight. And maybe she heard me? No, she's snoring over there. Okay, great. Well, Vash, since you were giving your final thoughts on that wonderful, awesome, fantastical women's match that we had, why don't you give your overall thoughts of SmackDown? How'd you think of SmackDown tonight? Our go-home show before Money in the Bank in Toronto.
Our go-home show for Toronto was a solid SmackDown overall. If you ask me a top rating, gun in my head, or taking it like Chad Gable, so around next week's show, I'll give it like a 4 out of 5. Solid entertaining. Our Cody champion came out. He belt came in looking good. Our boy Randy eyeing that shit, giving body language, so like, yo, I'm gonna come for you. You won't see it when. It could be tomorrow. People reading me. I want that belt. It needs me. I hear voices in my head. It's coming. I'm gonna bite you. Snake venom. So that's going on a lot. And 2, one of my favorite things is just I love saying the DIY, the song. We believe it. We are DIY. Yay, did it themselves. And I love it. You gotta do yourself as well. You gotta do it yourself. You can. Yes, you can. And the Bloodline, acknowledge me. Right there. Go ahead, screenshot this. Acknowledge me.
Go on, screenshot it, clip it. I dare you. Because, hey, you guys already came through for me. Look at that. See, Vash? 11 likes now. That means Sydney gets her treat tonight. So, don't worry, everybody. I will give it to her. And I'll even give you guys proof next week. Or, if you check our Discord, I might have a picture of me giving her said treat. Who knows? You'll have to join our Discord.
There is a pet channel, so we could post pet picture, selfies, and everything, so you could do that. But
exactly.
Whawkins, what is your thoughts? And Chad, tell us your thoughts yourself as well of the SmackDown going home show.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was an alright show. A lot of stuff, was building to Money in the Bank, so just kind of like giving us our last little gasp before, like, probably because on paper this show looks really good. Like, these matches and the people in them are we're in for a treat tomorrow. Like, Toronto, you guys lucked out with the card that you got. So, again, with all of our build-up going on, our little seeds being planted with, like, some of our weekly stuff, with, like, Jade and Bianca going for the women's tag titles, they're going to try to get after them again. We'll see what happens with that road. Again, everything to deal with Money in the Bank matches. We got all those. Our new tag champions, love to see it finally for DIY. Like, I know I've been wanting it since WrestleMania season, and I'm just glad we finally have them. So that just makes me so excited. I can't wait to see what they do with the belts. And yeah, the Bloodline stuff again. Solo is just digging that grave just deeper and deeper for him, not making anything easier for himself or the rest of his bloodline. So yeah, I thought SmackDown again. It was fine. It was serviceable. I didn't want to turn it off. The 2 hours just sped by. So hey, that's what I want in my weekly television product, and that's what I got. But yeah, that was tomorrow? SmackDown. Oh, we are going to talk about tomorrow because, hey, we got 5 matches. We got 5 predictions. We got to figure out who's going to win what match. That's right, everybody. It is our wonderful, awesome segment for these go-home shows. It is time for our Money in the Bank predictions. Now, if you're in the chat right now, go ahead and let us know your predictions as we go through match by match, and let me know why too. I'm curious why you guys might think a different way. Maybe you do think a different way than us. Then that would be great. That would be awesome. Then we can actually talk and communicate and maybe come up with some fantasy bookings and all that. But hey, we're gonna start off first of all with our 6-man tag team match. We have RKO and Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodline Junior.
I'm about to say, you better say the thing you wrote. I'm about to say, you better think I wrote. I didn't even notice it until I read it.
Vash, who you got and why?
My guess, it would be the Bloodline Junior. I'm gonna call them down right now, not 2.0 from now. I'm gonna call them the Bloodline Junior. They're gonna take the W because they're gonna be as dominant as they so called to be. The Bloodline should win to get that build up. If the rumor is true for Soto versus Cody next PLE for SummerSlam, who will get the pin? I hope it's KO. If not KO, please don't let it be Cody. It's not the same goal for him to be it. That's my choice. Bloodline Junior.
Well, I hate to rain on your no pinning Cody parade, but I kind of agree with it. I think Drop had mentioned this earlier too, that Bloodline, yes, they're probably gonna win. I'm saying they're gonna win, and I'm also gonna be saying that Solo's gonna be the one to pin Cody, and that's how we get to our road to SummerSlam. And I mean, I'm fine with it if we're going down that road, because I think Cody can eat a pin loss like that, because again, it's in a tag team match. It's against this bloodline that we had talked about, building up stars like the future and the new and all that. This would be a good way to do that, where it's okay, how do we get to, Cody being decimated? Well, a 3-on-1 or a 3-on-2 situation is not the best idea for him, is it? So we could see a Randy Orton turn, but if we don't, we'll probably still get a moment where it's Cody trying to fend off all 3 members of the bloodline, and he just can't, and it's fine for our heroes to lose every now and then. I mean, if you're a One Piece fan, Luffy goes through 3 rounds with the main baddie before he beats them.
Oh, he does. I remember the most one is the one with Katakuri. My man was getting that whole bullseye right down to him. He said he's gonna still be standing. I felt like he was Captain America. Cody should have a Captain America moment. It should be like this. I can do this all day tomorrow. I hope he has that with all 3 of the Samoans, and they're trying to see right now Cody. I hope he does I can do this all day.
Look, your Captain America may end up turning into Homelander come SummerSlam.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Did you see that promo? Did you see that promo? Sorry, not to go on a tangent. Did you see that promo they did?
Oh, that promo was good. I didn't expect that. No lie.
So good.
No lie. I'm gonna keep it a buck to you. That promo made me feel I was watching a CGI, because I thought it was not real. For a second, I would tell you I thought it was fake. But then once I rewatched it and I saw Cody smile, I'm like, wait a minute, that looks like the actual Cody. Hold up, what? And just seeing him do the red eyes, I'm like, the way Cody actually wore, and then I saw the behind the scenes picture. I'm like, this motherfucker actually wore the suit. He actually wore the outfit. This bitch, he actually took the joke to a next level. The boys, writers and producers were like, wait a minute, a lot of people have been calling this dude Homelander. Let's get him to cosplay our Homelander and do this a promo for The Boys season 5 or 4. What is it? That's just smart marketing. That's literally smart marketing crossover of WWE with Amazon Prime / The Boys. This is just smart marketing.
And I love it too, because Cody has said he would want to do Hollywood and do movies and TV and all that. So it's this kind of ties in just with him wanting to do that too. It's
funny how a lot of people say that when he was literally on Arrow for almost a good 2 seasons. And he was actually good in that. Like he was
Yeah.
great. Like he was great with Stephen Amell. And a lot of people don't know
Hmm.
him and Stephen Amell are like a great friends. Where I believe Cody got CM Punk to actually be in Stephen Amell's wrestling show. I forgot what it's called. It's on Stars. Cody
Okay.
Rhodes has a wrestling. Not say Cody Rhodes. Stephen Amell has a wrestling show on Stars, and I believe CM Punk acted in that, and I think Cody Rhodes was rumored to act in that as well. So Cody Rhodes have been in the game, but I'm just glad just to see him with Homelander. A thing that people has been joking around for years to call him that, but now he's actually playing
Yeah.
the cosplay part, and I'm shocked. I would not be shocked if Cody Rhodes is actually on season 4 or something like that. Would not be shocked if he's like a background character or something.
He hasn't showed up yet in season 4, so maybe he'll show up in season 5. Who knows? But it looks like Drop, he's in the chat, so hopefully everything's going well with the Drop, and he's also agreeing with us. He thinks the Bloodline's going to go over, or excuse me, the Bloodline Junior is going to take over here in the match. So hey, we're 3 for 3. Everybody's Bloodline Junior all the way down here. Next match we have is our Intercontinental title match. We have Sami Zayn defending his title against Braun Breaker. Now, chat, as always, let me know what you guys think and why. But Vash, who do you think is going to win this match and why?
I think my boy Sami Zayn will be winning. But like Whawkins said earlier in the beginning of the show, Weebs of the Ring episode 43, it was that Braun Breaker will be destroying Sami Zayn in half, and I agree with that. Will Braun Breaker be winning? No, because Sami Zayn need to come out to beat like the destroying Hulk, and that's what Braun Breaker is. I feel like he is Planet Hulk right now, but Braun Breaker need to get taken down a peg and be taught a lesson. Be like, no. Like Kratos, no. Stop acting all tough. You are not immortal.
No.
How about you, Whawkins?
Just like that. You know what? Yeah, so I said it earlier. I'm like, okay, Braun Breaker is gonna absolutely destroy Sami Zayn. Like he's gonna, like, break him in half. All that wonderful stuff. All that imagery you guys want to love and see and have go on. And even though Braun Breaker's gonna do all that, Sami Zayn, I think, is still gonna come out with the W. Like it's gonna be a hard fought battle. But Sami Zayn's going to do something to where he's going to outsmart Braun Breaker, because that right now is Braun Breaker's weakness. And because we kind of saw that this past Monday when he tried to get... see, whenever I think... It's the overhead spear that I like to call it, where Braun, like they have the overhead camera, overhead shot, and Braun just runs around the ring and all that. But... when Braun was going for his overhead spear and Sami just like jumped, like he leapfrogged over him, and Braun Breaker hit those steps, that immediately switched my brain from thinking, oh, Braun Breaker is going to squash Sami, to, oh, Sami's going to outwit Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the lesson that he needs to learn, is to start using his smarts in these matches instead of just his speed and power.
I feel like it's the saying of how the Raging Bull needs to be controlled, of how, in the Raging Bull, there's always that person with the red cape.
Mm-hmm.
And you always guide it. That's why I feel like Sami Zayn is going to be having the red cape and guiding Braun Breaker to smash into the pole, into the steps, into other places that he's not meant to.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're both for Sami Zayn, sounds like, and looks
us
like
three,
Drop
the
too.
whole team is. We believe in it because Sami Zayn, Drop says that Sami Zayn, because he feels he will believe to put on a typical underdog performance to show or help Braun Breaker look good, and we agree. We're on the same page that our boy will be coming out on top.
And plus, Braun can easily get his heat back by just attacking Sammy at the end. Like, even if Sammy wins by like a cheeky roll up or whatever, like Braun Breaker can easily just decimate Sammy even after the match.
And put him in the hospital.
I mean, that could, yeah, and like, put him into the hospital for a bit, even if it's just for like a week or two. Like, still having that heat could still lead to like another match down the road. It could be SummerSlam we see that match. Who knows? Like, I know we have a month left, but it's like you could still build a story around that where Braun still destroys Sami Zayn, because like look how many chances Sammy gave Gable, even after Chad Gable like suplexed him. Yeah, it was like 3, I think. One of them was like a triple threat match, but that's besides the point. It's like Sammy would be somebody to fight Braun again shortly after trying to beat him up in front of his family again.
Yeah. Only time will tell for our next match is you either leave the family or never could fight for the belt again while the title holder reigns. Who is that, Whawkins?
Oh my gosh, we have so now the matches are going to get a little hard to predict, at least for my end, because now we have our World Heavyweight title match. Damian Priest is defending his title against Seth Rollins. And like Vash said, we have some stipulations with this. If Damian Priest wins, Seth Rollins can no longer challenge for the World Heavyweight title as long as Damian Priest is holding it. However, if Seth Rollins wins, then Damian Priest has to leave the Judgment Day. And this match has a lot more moving pieces than you might want to think about, because not only do we go ahead.
No, please finish.
Oh yeah, so like our moving pieces, first of all, the winner of this match faces Gunther at SummerSlam, who has been groomed since his Intercontinental title reign to be a world champion. Like, he is destined for that belt probably now. Like, and by probably I mean he needs that World Heavyweight title right now. So you have Gunther in there. You have all this stuff that's going on with the Judgment Day. I'm not going to list it all, but just know that it's a lot. Like, from betrayals to people like changing and all that. Like, there's a lot that goes in with the Judgment Day stuff. Then you have the Seth Rollins stuff, who, like, he even said too, it's like, if I don't win, I have to reevaluate my legacy. Like, what am I gonna do after this? And it's like, yeah, what does Seth Rollins do after all this? Like, what does he do at SummerSlam? What does he do after SummerSlam? Like, what does he do for the rest of the year? Like, what is Seth Rollins with, like, this version of Seth Rollins? What is that like without a title? What does he do? So this match is really tough to call, because you also have the Money in the Bank stuff too, and especially if a certain Scottish person wins that match, he has stated that he is going to cash in on that night. And with rumors that this is the main event tomorrow, it's kind of looking likely that might happen. And then that itself even leads into like CM Punk territory. So it's like there's so many things to think about, so many things to like put into consideration. So Vash, while I'm still thinking about things and how I kind of want them to go, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts, and who do you think is going to come out on top with this World Heavyweight title match?
Well, to keep it short and simple, for the social media clip, Drew is Drew, my apologies. For Damian Priest, he's gonna win. That's one. Damian Priest is winning. That is my key clip. But for my reasoning, look, I love Seth. He is the visionary. I am him. If you ask me which is my current WWE character personality on screen right now, that is Seth Rollins, the visionary, the man with the glasses, the man with the look, the man with the outfit, the man that could walk those heels coming out and make it look like it's like, damn, your feet looks like it's hurting on those heels. But he is making it work. My man is doing a 1, 2, 3 step back and forward and just having the whole damn audience sing out of their mind like an old opera battle in a wrestling event. However, a champion. He did a great pre-show kickoff. He had the crowd saying, sorry, not saying. He had the crowd chant, boo, give him the awareness as a champion deserve. I want him to fight Gunther because I want to see what Damian Priest could build. Can Seth Rollins fight Gunther? Yeah, that could happen. But I'd rather see that some other time down the road because we could have a Gunther versus Seth down the road. Because if Seth loses, he doesn't have to fight for this title for another month. Because we know if Gunther versus Damian goes, we know Gunther's winning. That's like an 80% book happening no matter what. That 20% depending if Damian actually takes that W is because Judgment Day help or it's because there's something other type of variable in that story. But big reason I want Damian to win to show because he said something in the pre-show event that he's not the same person from last year that fought Seth Rollins. He's a different person and he's a different wrestler from last year. He says he's better. So I love that. It shows true to the advocation of what he is today as the champion, the wrestler he is, and the things he has learned and improved since last year when he fought Seth Rollins. So that's one thing that made me believe that he will be taking that W tonight, aka tomorrow, is what I meant.
See, and I was hoping Drop had his in the chat when you were done. Oh wait, he could very well be Gunther's first challenger. Oh yeah, that's true. He could be, but like, I'm also in the boat as Drop is because he's saying like it's a toss for me. And it's like, yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at with like this beginning part. It's like this is a toss up for me because like on one hand, like you could have Damian Priest go over, you can have him do the match with Gunther. The whole cash in from Drew. I mean, either way, I'm just going to mention this now. If Drew does win the Money in the Bank briefcase, he is not only cashing in that night, but he's also getting screwed over by Punk. But we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But like, it's such a toss up for me because it's like, yeah, we could have Damian versus Gunther. No matter who's facing Gunther at SummerSlam, Gunther's winning. Whether it's Damian Priest, whether it's Seth Rollins, Gunther's winning that title at SummerSlam. So that outcome is fine. It's just like when I look at that match, it's like, okay, who would I rather see face Gunther? And it's like, okay, you could have the Damian Priest part where it's like, you know, two hosses fighting each other, but then you can have like the Seth Rollins thing. And like Gunther does really well with people that are kind of like a Seth Rollins, where it's like they're speedy, they do have technique, and they're in a way unpredictable. So like you could have like an excellent match with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, probably a little bit more, but like it's also like a different match that you would have with Damian Priest.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have two different type of category. Like with Seth, you have quick and speed. It reminds me of the match when it was Gunther versus Kofi Kingston. It was very unexpected. It was very speed. It was something that it showed the type of showmanship. Same thing with Seth's style. With Damian Priest, he's a lot taller, more built, and you have to do a lot more with the type of heavy hits since Damian is bigger. So that's what I want to see from Gunther because I don't remember Gunther last big man match. So that's what I would like to see.
And the other thing too with all this is the whole thing with like the Judgment Day and all that. And it's like, okay, if Damian loses, he's out of the Judgment Day. Well, he's kind of showing signs that he wants to leave or like he doesn't need them. No matter what he says, like to them after he says something, the fact that he says the thing prior to that, like, for example, oh, the Judgment Day need me a lot more than I need them. Like, it's when he says lines like that and then tries to back off from it. To me, is saying, like, you're just trying to save face right now. And Finn can tell that. Like, some of the looks he gave Damian Priest, especially this past week, were very telling. And I believe it was last Money in the Bank too, like last year. Somebody remind me in the comments too. But one of those times, if not both of those times, because of that Money in the Bank briefcase, Finn Balor lost those matches to Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title.
So,
Like,
not
mhm.
counterpoint, but I'm not sure if you saw the pre-show, but towards was Damian Priest said it to Michael Cole, and I love how these pre-show are adding more layers to the story of the grander story of WWE and what's going
Mhm.
on with the characters and their faces, because Damian Priest even told Michael Cole, he like, don't add your wishy-washy stories of the Judgment Day and everything. Judgment Day needed a world title. We had Rhea, now we have me. The Judgment Day had tag titles. We had the World Tag. They had the Unified Undisputed Tag titles. Now we have another tag titles. We are back to how
Mhm.
we run Monday Night Raw. So the Judgment Day needed a world title. That's me, and with the tag title. So we're back on the same page. We are good. So like the pre-show, I love how it's adding this extra layer to having the importance. So it gives it the extra flavor of type of, you building extra layers to your characters, like any type of anime, like where you have a spin-off story to know more about another character having the day off. It's kind of like this, like this pre-show adds an extra layer to knowing what's going on or what's being said to our characters. So I love that because
Mhm.
like it adds it to know that Damian Priest knows what people are saying online. He is knowing
Yeah.
what people are saying about the Judgment Day. He even said it in pre-show in the beginning, saying that a lot of people online been saying that the Judgment Day were washed. No, as you see, titles. We have a tag titles and a world titles back in the Judgment Day. That's how he first started off. So he knows how and what are people saying it. So he knows how to counter. He knows how to counter react to it, and I love that for Damien
Yeah.
because it shows to his character as the fake leader he is.
Mhm. And like, I guess counterpoint to your counterpoint. So many counterpoints. My Uno reverse card, I guess. And again, somebody correct me too if I'm wrong with this. Even when Rio was world champion, she still helped the boys.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, she had some of her business and all that, but that was mainly because, hey, boys can't be hitting girls, that old shit. But like, she still helped them out, like with the world title stuff, like,
and that's what Liv
sorry,
is
the
doing.
like the tag title stuff, and yeah, that Liv is helping the boys out. So there's that,
But
but like,
Michael Cole brought that up too. Like, hey, don't
mhm,
forget you won your titles because of Liv, and that's when
yep,
the Judgment Day was leaving the pre-show. So they didn't have no counterpoint towards that. So I was like, Michael Cole said that little
mhm.
last thing to add to it.
Yeah. So it's like, there again, there's so many layers to everything. There's so many just like avenues we can go down, but like my initial thought we're differing for the first time tonight. Thank God. Like we're not just like a full down card thing. I'm going Seth Rollins with this cuz I think the whole story for Finn and Priest and the Judgment Day, you could make the argument, oh yeah, it's for the world title and all that stuff, but like, yes and no, because like part of the crux of that story too is like the fact that they cost each other these things. It's like, okay, the one time that Priest, did cash in and win the title, no Judgment Day at all. But every time the Judgment Day were involved to help Priest cash in, it was always failure after failure after failure. And when Finn was going after the title, because of that case, because of, Damian Priest wanting to be the world champion, it all centers around Damian Priest and like his attitude towards everything. So it's like there's that part of it, and just like the fact that like they both kind of cost each other the title,
We just gotta
and
see where
with
it builds up more because we gotta see
yeah,
with SummerSlam. Right now, Rhea hasn't come back yet. We haven't heard more about Rhea update yet. The only last thing we heard is that um, Judge Rhea Ripley got married to Buddy, and then
yeah,
Dominic posted a picture of his real wife saying happy birthday, and then Rhea Ripley
hmm
liked the photo, but Liv hasn't liked the photo yet from last thing I checked. So that's just very funny as well on IG, like to know that those things are playing along. Like I Rhea so likes the real picture, which makes sense, but to know for for her to go back to work, we haven't heard no update on that. So I'm really curious to see what is gonna be happening in the next coming weeks, even for this Monday Night Raw. Like, what is the build up gonna continue if Damien succeeds to keep for both after Money in the Bank of Drew failing cash in, or if it wasn't him, or if it was for somebody else, with Damien still winning, how would the crew still react moving forward? Or if he doesn't have the title,
Right.
how will they react now that he's not in the Judgment? And will Finn hold power now since he is or becomes the actual type of leader by default? That would be intriguing.
Yeah, because I mean, Damien won't be allowed in the clubhouse anymore, so there's that. But Drop, I'm assuming with your comment right there, you're going Seth as well, because I'm glad you mentioned it again too. Just that stipulation. I mean that's a way for Finn to get rid of Priest right there.
Yeah.
Is to cost him the title. Because not only did you cost me the title, but now you kicked me out of the group that like Damian Priest was there with since day one ish. Like that's got to sting a little bit, you know. And I mean, you got to kind of think, you know, just because of like association and just not being there and like kind of being lesser of a help, I guess. I don't know the better terminology for that, but Liv could be taking Rhea's place right here.
Yeah.
Rhea could also be leaving with Damien as well. So we'll just have to wait and see how the story pans out. But we're going to move on now to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Naomi.
Main events of the matches of the whole PoE. Yep. What is there for?
Look, it's going to be a good match. It's going to be a good card and all that. But we have Naomi versus Chelsea Green versus Tiffany Stratton versus Lyra Valkyria versus Io Sky versus Zoe Stark. Vash, who you got and why?
For the women's Money in the Bank ladder match that has been introduced for a couple years now, we haven't had one failure yet. Who would it be to win? Top of my head, I'm going to give it to... this was actually hard. Fuck. Right now. Clip. Think.
That's what she said.
Tiffany. I'm going to go Tiff. Tiffy. It's Tiffy town. I'm going to go. It's Tiffany. Just give me a nice pink bedazzled briefcase. And my dark horse is going to be Chelsea Green. Those are my two clips. I mean, my two picks. Let's go.
Two clips. Oh, that was great. Okay. And Drop, I think Drop was still also on the Tiffy train, which, yeah, I could see that. Man, see, this is one. It's like, it's kind of a toss up for me as well, but like more so, I'm like, okay, my brain wants one thing because of reasons, but my heart beats for another. My heart wants another, and I always listen to my heart. Screw my brain. I hate my brain. My brain can just go to the next door neighbors and get isekai'd into a world where instead of being my brain, now it's a cow's udder producing milk for the princess. There you go. Watch that one. I'm gonna go with Chelsea Green because I want to be different. My heart wants all that. My heart really just wants her to be the first woman to fail the cash in, because a few times, especially this week, they've kind of harped on how it's 100%.
Yep. That's why I said it.
100% win and all that for the women's side of the Money in the Bank briefcase. So I could say, yeah. Hey Vash, why don't you go Zoe Stark instead? How about you go Zoe?
Nah. So for myself, we have it's Tiffy time. Drop is Tiffy time, and for Whawkins it's Chelsea Green. My dark horse is Chelsea Green. Whawkins was your dark horse, and Drop, what's your dark horse?
My dark horse. It's a toss up between Lyra and Io.
Got you.
Like, I could. I could. You know what? Dark Horse would be Lyra because they've been pushing her a lot. She was a finalist for the Queen of the Ring. That would be big. That would be big for her, I think. So she would be a dark horse, but the heart wants Chelsea. The brain's saying Tiffy, but I'm going Chelsea.
All right. I'm all right. We good.
All right.
Now the men's.
Oh, we are great. Oh, we got the men's Money in the Bank briefcase match. We've got LA Knight. Yeah. We got Jey Uso. Yeet. We got Chad Gable.
Master.
Shush. We got Master Gable. Shush. We have Andrade with his old Tranquilo. We have him, Carmelo Hayes, and of course, as I always like to refer to him, as I like to refer to DM Hunk, he is big old Daddy Drew McIntyre. Vash, who you got and why?
My boy Jey Uso, yeet in the train, yeet in the house, yeet in your face, yeet all around town, yeet Jey Uso.
You got a yeet. You're going on the yeet train, huh? You know, that's fair. That's fine. It's all right.
My dark horse, I'm going to just say it right now, Carmelo Hayes is my dark horse.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair because, you know, I was thinking about it too. It's just like, man, if that whole Wyatt 6 thing happens, Carmelo Hayes might be safe. He could possibly do it, but yeah, that'd be cool. But I'm going to start with my actual dark horse, Andrade. Andrade with the title, with the Money in the Bank briefcase would be really cool. It'd be a lot of fun. He doesn't have to cash in on Cody. He could always do it on whoever the world heavyweight champion is at the time too. Like, he could do that too.
Yep.
Andrade would be great with the belt though. I think he would be somebody that like could really elevate not only just the briefcase itself, but elevate himself by, you know, getting that world title. But as for who's actually winning the match, my booker brain, just that fantasy booking is just going haywire, and I need it to happen because there's some people that I was even talking to today that I'm just like, the story is right there. Like, we just had a cash in. We can take a year without another male's cash in. It's fine. It's all right. But I get those points. I don't care. Drew McIntyre is going to win. He's going to get that Money in the Bank briefcase. He's going to try to cash in that night. But guess what? If you look in his eyes, what do you see? There's a cult of personality that's going to whip that ass to make sure that Drew McIntyre does not walk out of Money in the Bank the world heavyweight champion. Because that's the thing. Like, even if Drew cashes in like mid-match, let's say, it turns into a triple threat, which means no DQ, no disqualification, which means anything can happen, which means anyone can interfere, which means CM Punk can come out there with a big old chair and just go whomp right over Drew McIntyre's face and take him out, and then Seth hits a good old stomp on Damian Priest. 1, 2, 3, boom! Seth Rollins, World Heavyweight Champion for a bit.
So, Whawkins, you're not the only one. Drop his choice. His number one is for DM Hunk, and his dark horse, like mine, Carmelo Hayes, to the chat.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, no. However, I agree. I agree with your statement. You bring some good facts, Wonkus. But look. You gotta hear me out. It's not gonna happen. I gotta be the counterpoint. I gotta believe that's not gonna happen. I gotta be the opposite of you to bring the opposite energy to know that, you know what, my man CM Punk in the hospital, he's still healing. You remember, you know, like Paul Heyman, he's gone for the week, he's gone for the month. He has, you know, he probably life insurance right now because, you know, Chad supposedly said he was dead, and I'm like, sir, as a story injury, he's not. He's good.
Paul Heyman's dead. How dead is he? He's cadaverific.
Exactly. So when it shows to this, can our boy Cult of Personality CM Punk come him and take him out. Really curious to see with Drew if he actually does cash it in. It does help it to know that we don't have to worry about a Money in the Bank case of men's to kind of twist where could things go by the end of the year, because it's not like it's like a random hook just going through. I mean, it's like a random light going over the table, like where would it land, But right now, if it does happen, for story purposes, it makes sense that people don't have to worry or stress about a men's briefcase for the next year.
Yeah.
For understandable purposes, makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if you saw this going around out there. I don't know if this was. I still gotta watch that WrestleMania documentary. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
But I saw a couple clips though. There was one from Punk. I don't know if this was from this or not, but there was a video going around of like Damian Priest backstage after he won the World Heavyweight title. And Punk actually goes up to him and he's just like, I bet you're glad you don't have to carry around that stupid suitcase anymore. And I hear him say that sentence and I'm like, oh, yeah, you know what? Who would want to carry around that big old briefcase through customs and through all the airports that they would have to go through and all that? Yeah, nah. Get rid of that thing as soon as you can, Drew McIntyre. Have like Tiffany Stratton or Chelsea Green, like let them have their briefcase, let them have their bedazzled one, their new one, and all that, and sell all that merch, because that's where the money is right there Drew, in the women's
he's like,
case.
I'm here for the cut in, out, boom, done. He literally just, I won the briefcase. I have to wait another type of 45 minutes, because remember, use Drew to break Kane's record. Michael Cole, you are best statistics, aren't you? Kane won the briefcase, and he didn't wait for another 50 minutes to cash in that briefcase. That night, he waited 50 minutes.
No.
He has the shortest window of cashing in. You could literally have Drew McIntyre break that record and probably have that as the main event. Literally, the pre-show was the men's one, and have it 30 minutes to cash it in. That adds an extra layer to Drew McIntyre to his to his resume. Now he has the shortest cash in of the men's now, because that was held by Kane, because in the pre-show they reminded the audience of some fat check stuff that Michael Cole's talking about, that he loves numbers. I'm like, yeah, I'm a big number guy. I love statistics.
The numbers don't lie.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this information about the Money in the Bank. It's all about information about 106 competitors have been entering. Only this amount of people have won. I'm like, oh, cool information. And then when they said that Kane won, that's only 50 minutes after winning. I'm like, that's the one that stood out to me. Like, they could break that tomorrow, for sure.
Yeah, and we'd have to just kind of wait and see. But you know what? Good shout out by the Dino Man about Big Show coming out, because hey, Big Show could come out. He could pull a Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar wasn't in a Money in the Bank match. He just kind of walked in at the end of it and took the briefcase. Hey, who's to say the Big Show can't just do that? He could just leave AEW, get the briefcase, and then go back to AEW and cash in on Swerve. That could be a thing, right? Cross promotion. I think I broke Vash right there.
Me just hearing of like, how's that gonna happen in booking, like Triple H, Tony Khan, what? That's just
there were some people
figure out the science. Like, how would you factor the logistics in there? Like, how would you find the booking? Like us just currently getting WWE and TNA, that's just amazing already in the first place. But to get an AEW cross promotion now, whew, that was like so many kind of booking problems going to be going there. Whew.
So as I was listening to like other people throughout the week and all that, like on YouTube or Twitter and all that, like there were some people, and I'd have to look into like the rules and especially how they're wording things this year, because there were some people being like, okay, let's say Chelsea Green wins the briefcase, she could possibly go to TNA and cash it in on the Knockouts champion there and win that title, because she has unfinished business there too. It's just like, oh, wait a minute. If we add TNA into all of this, like, I wonder how the semantics with that would be, and like,
So
because like I have to go and see how they're wording everything right now
I'm
again.
happy you brought this up because this is something that I wish the company of WWE has to do. Have a tab on the website and
Yeah.
learning mean what the fuck Triple H era means of the new things
Hmm.
being won, meaning the Royal Rumble. Because I kept hearing the documentary thing since Wednesday saying that Cody Rhodes was not supposed to point. Motherfucker, Triple H,
Oh yeah.
you better give an official statement about Royal Rumble winners has to go to money. I mean, has to go to WrestleMania from now on because of what just happened with Cody Rhodes. That's one.
Yeah.
Two, that the Money in the Bank person, male winner, male female, both of them, both briefcases, has 365 days until the next PLE. Like those things need to be submitted. Now that he made the new rule of the king and queen has their golden
Hmm.
ticket for SummerSlam, these things need to be like cut and proven to a T on the website for us to know. Cause like the draft things, like you said, these things keep changing, and we are in a new era with Triple H booking
Yeah.
his stories now, his full range of what he wants to tell to the audience and what he's being portrayed. So, cause what you said is like great. It makes that all that booking, the fantasy and everything, but what's actually concrete now? Cause like, hey, we have a TNA crossover. Is this only TNA and NXT, or is this now TNA and the whole company of WWE? Cause like with a Rumble and
Hmm.
everything, or is this only for the small brand? Like that's where I'm more curious.
Yeah, because it's like, and this is just a short answer with it all and all that, but
Yeah.
like, just a couple years ago, we had Austin Theory cash in on the United States Championship.
Which I was not a
So
fan
it's
of.
like, okay, yeah, not many people were at the time, but yeah, so like they were able to find that loophole to kind of get them out of that booking corner and all that. So it's like, okay, what do we do? It's all about the wording. And again, I just have to go back to see how they're wording everything, because it's like if they're just saying it as like a championship opportunity, then there's a loophole right there to just like somebody going into TNA and being like, donk, give me your title and all that, and like kind of starting like a bigger program with them through that. But if they are saying like strictly WWE, like a top championship within WWE, then there's probably not going to be any of that. But yeah, so I mean, again, like overall, looks like we got our picks for the evening for everything. So you know, everybody in the chat, I am seeing, we're doing pretty good. We're doing excellent tonight. So Vash, why don't you just let the people know
Where to
just
find us?
exactly what they can do and where
Yes.
they can find us?
Like chat, like you're watching right now. Like those of you who took the 2 likes back, respectfully, f you. Like the special maneuver of John Cena. That's one. Two, if you like us and continue liking us, continue giving us the likes on stream. Continue giving us on our future likes on stream. Comment down below what you guys think on our product. Like Weebs of the Ring podcast episode 43 that just aired. Money in the Bank POE after show will be tomorrow. Will there be a sidecast? Check on twitch.tv/AniMa Studio, where you're also watching on the we're both multi-streaming both the YouTube and Twitch. If you was unaware, we have a Twitch channel where there is gaming and sidecast and anime reactions by me or by other people on there. We have our socials down below, as you see, at AniMa Studio, Legendary Vash, DropThisBox, and at Whawkins MW and hashtag Weebs of the Ring. Like tomorrow, we'll be talking about it for the PLE, and the pre-show starts at 5. So we'll definitely be talking about it. Definitely join our Discord. We will put the link once more while Whawkins gives the outro.
Exactly. So, again, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, why not do exactly what Vash just said? We are known as AniMa Studio on all social media platforms. Just remember, that's we with a 3. And also use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to interact with us about anything regarding wrestling before, during, or after our shows. Feedback is always appreciated, as we are nothing without you tuning in. Weebs of the Ring is presented by AniMa We Studio. Thanks to our production team of Vash, Whawkins, DropThisBox, Rome, and Jokester. As well as special thanks to JB and Abe, and of course our lovely people in our chat that are always so much fun to talk to and interact with as we do our shows. So once again, thank you for joining us, and remember, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow for Money in the Bank post-show.
Watch Anime Podcast episode 148. Yeah.